What's up, everybody? Happy race week weekend to y'all. Hope everybody's doing fine. I hope everybody's had a great week. And we're back here at the Roval. Man, it's going to be an interesting race this weekend with all these new changes. We're going to take a look at the changes here in just a second while we wait for practice and qualifying to begin for the NASCAR Cup Series. Congratulations, SVG, on the pole for today's Cure. What's it called? Oh my gosh, I forgot. The Xfinity race sponsor today. And Drive for the Cure 250. There we go. Drive for the Cure 250. This afternoon, we'll be bringing that to you live as well with all the cameras and all that good stuff. But here we are today with the practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series race here today. The Bank of America Roval 400 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's right, the Charlotte Roval. And they have made it a little more tough for these drivers. And as Kelly was saying, turn 7 is going to be something. So we're going to look forward to seeing that for the first time today in the Xfinity Series as they roll down through 7. And also turn 16 and 17 is going to be pretty interesting as well, too. But what's up, everybody? What's up, Rod? He says, dedication 3 a.m., man. You're awesome, bro. Cole says, cure for remembering the name of the Rays 200. Exactly. What's up, Davey? Good to see you, Bronny. Good to see you, buddy. I know, man. Cold Trickle. What's up? Pastel, what's up? Official Valdo. He says, is this where we can see the race? Well, we won't be able to show you any live video of the qualifying or practice, but we will be able to bring you the great audio off of the USA Network. Plus, we'll have the live leaderboard and talk about what's going on and all that stuff. But we are unable to see cameras for those. If you've been with us all this year, you know that's the fact. So just waiting on the raw feed to pop up here, and we'll see how that goes. Time to rock and Roval. Let's see what's up. Billy Voles, what's going on? Good to see you, man. How about congratulations on your Dodgers, sir? As we'll be bringing the Dodgers Mets series. I'll be able to do game 1. We'll be able to do game 2 because they decided to put that at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, which doesn't work for me. So, but we'll definitely bring some more games for the Dodger fans. Pastel says, I predict Larson to wreck racing for the win. Lester, what's going on? Hello, hello. Eva, what's going on? C. Brown, always here, my friend. Jaspy, what's up? Hello. Random is here too as well. What's up, everybody? Lloyd was here a little earlier. What's everybody? How you doing, man? Appreciate everybody being here. So let's get to the main page here, and let's take a look. So this right here is the new unlighted straightaway between, let's see. This is the look of the new pavement that extends the straightaway coming out of turn 5 and 6. We talked about this in our preview vlog too. So guys, if you haven't seen our preview vlog, we come out every Friday for you guys to look at. This is the new pavement that extends the straightaway coming out of 5 and 6. All right. And then right here is another shot. Looks closer look at the extended straightaway between 5 and 6. And this was all also in our vlog too. So you guys have already seen this. So they've done some changes here. And then here, coming down is this elongated straightaway between 5 and 6 at a distance leading into turn 7. So normally, because it used to have it come down through, a long straightaway into turn 7, but now they've made it a little more tricky. And as you'll see here, the hairpin right here, well, you can't really see it because the logo here, but you'll see a better view of it. But it used to come down through the side where those cars are. It used to be one straight entrance into the turn 7, and then you could just go on to the banking. Well, no more. As you see, it's turned into now like an S turn into the hairpin, which is going to be very interesting. And then here's another look at the hairpin turn onto the banking here at Charlotte. So a closer look at the exit from turn 7 hairpin leading back to the oval's banking. So there it is. And there is now turn 16 and 17. They made it a little more deeper towards the pits. And then they're going to have to make a hard right turn and then a hard left turn back to the banking to the start-finish line. So a new look for turn 16 will swing farther left forward pit road, setting up a 90-degree right turn leading into a 90-degree left bank to the front straightaway at turn 17. And then here is your look again at turns the new turn here. So they've made it more deeper, and it turns more left into the pit road, and then you have to make a hard right turn. Before, it used to be like a little quick bump into. So, and we've seen a lot of accidents right through here as well. So that is going to be interesting to see what happens here on that. So appreciate everybody being here. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And let's see here if I can get my scoreboard going here. Our raw feed is up. And I hope everybody's doing well. Hit that like button for us. Well, and what do you guys think about this new setup? What do you think about this new setup? I think it's going to be interesting. Should it provide a new way of racing here? What up, George? Good to see you. The white and on Grayson's Beefaroo car have been inverted for this weekend compared to last weekend's. Okay. What's up, Holly? Good to see you as well. Good to see you. And here we go. Got the raw feed going. So practice and qualifying here for the NASCAR Cup Series will be coming up here just shortly. Make sure you hit that like button for us as the audio of the USA broadcast will be back in here in about 5 minutes. See ya. And we'll have a good time today. The U.S. Challenge has made SVG better than, again, in my opinion, the circuit looks great, Rod says. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with these cars. And I'm interested to see how they do in that turn 1 with a bunch of cars, or turn 7 going in there. Why don't they just make a double figure eight? I'm not sure, Darwin. But they've changed it. So that one, like the one spot where it comes down to that turn 7, they completely changed the track on that. So we'll see what happened. Everyone's favorite. That's right. SVG. He's going to be, we'll see if he's doing the double duty this weekend. He is in the 13 cars you guys saw in the preview vlog. But I just don't think he's going to be strong in the 13 car today. Possibly, but I just don't think so. Hello, Holly. My son's name is Tanner Cole Atkins. Ricky, what's going on? Good to see you. Appreciate everybody being here. And this weekend is our strive to go to 25K. And looking forward to everybody hanging out with us this weekend. We're going to be bringing you the Cup practice and qualifying here. And we're going to bring you the Xfinity race today. And then also tomorrow, the Sunday's Bank of America Roval 400. And should be interesting. All right, let's get it going here. They're showing the end of this race, and they were talking about how, did anybody see Larson's dash cam video and his spotter saying, hey, keep pushing. All right, now stop pushing. Get off of him. Don't push him to the win. And that's what Larson did. He did not push Bad Brad to the win. Now, Bad Brad could have gone up high, but I'm sure he would have gotten spun out by Stenhouse. Lots of controversy after the race at Talladega, as we talked about in our preview vlog as well. What's up, Ricky? Good to see you. Derek Allmendinger will be the one to beat. He's won here all the time, Derek, so that's what my pick is, Allmendinger. Now, who do you guys have predictions? Who's going to have the pole today? Give me your predictions. Who has the pole for the Bank of America Roval 400? Let me see in the chat. Who do you have predicted in the poll? I think I'm going to go... I'm going Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott for the win. That's what I'm going. Chase Elliott. I agree with you, George. Morning, Steve. Good to see you. I'm going Chase Elliott for the poll. Holly says the 48. Philip says Elliott as well. So lots of Elliots, some 48s. Brad didn't go up high when he could have, and Larson is a Chevy, so Brad got more than he hoped for from a Chevy. He did, car enthusiast. You're right. He did. But just not enough, As you can see, when they crossed the finish line, Larson was nowhere close to his back bumper on the finish line there. But Cindric will get the pole. Austin Cindric go forward. Let's see what happens. What's our Ricky? I like that one. But who else do you guys got in the pole? Pastel's got Byron. I love that Byron paint job. The Byron paint job is amazing on that 24 this weekend. Hard to say. Larson, possibly. We'll see, Rob. FYI, Greg Briffle has been instrumental in getting chainsaw gas. Yeah, I've been watching that with his helicopter, Kelly. It's been awesome. Davies going Chase Elliott or Tyler Reddick. Cole Trickle's got SVG or the Dinger if he's in the Cup race. Yes, both of them are in the Cup race. They're both doing double duty this weekend. William says, you already know I'm going Watermelon Man for the race wheel. There you go. Ross Chastain. So, like I was saying, lots of controversy at the end of the race there with that whole Larson thing, which is not really controversy. That's just the name of the game. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a big hole in his side of his door. I listened to Denny Hamlin's podcast. He just kind of let everything out during this podcast. I guess he figured, I'm suing NASCAR. I can just say what I want now. What else can I go wrong? I'm already suing NASCAR, the company that I'm racing for. But yeah, he was just letting it all out and talking about how, it's a rule and that they should have made him pit and made him fix it. He would have never been out front there. And also the 6 and the 17 losing their top rails for that NASCAR invaded. They didn't have those on the top of their car. So Denny was talking that they should have been disqualified for that too. I wanted Brad to win as Larson's guy, though. Joey for the pole, or it says. All right, let's go Chevys. Richard says, what's up, Richard? Good to see you. Joey Logano will hit the pole. Darwin, what's going on? Reddick has another rod, says. AJ in the 13 didn't last 5 laps, Richard said. So keep on getting your predictions, guys, as you're coming in. We're going to have a good time. Hit that like button. We're trying to get over 100 likes here for our NASCAR qualifying stream. And see if we can get there, if you haven't hit that already for us. 59 likes. Let's see if we can get to 100. The race review, they're showing Stenhouse climbing all over the fence and stuff. Michael McDowell, that'll be an interesting. You know, he's good on those super speedways, but can he do a road course? Michael McDowell with the pole. Cole Trickle says, NASCAR made rule mistakes for sure at Talladega. Looking sloppy. They did. Lots and lots. And like I said, Denny, man, if you guys listen to the podcast, Denny didn't care this podcast. He just let it all out. He spoke his mind, and he didn't care, which is crazy. But Desert Fox says dropping those 5. We also have emojis in the chat, guys, so check that out. And we're ready for some audio. Here we go. Enjoy practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series Bank of America Roval 400.
This is practice leading into qualifying for the Bank of America Roval 400 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where the updated standings look like this in the NASCAR playoffs.
Logano, Suarez, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe.
He is locked in. He's the only one with that comfort zone, that buffer over everybody else. You don't want to be one of those 4 names down the bottom in red. You're on the outside looking in, and this weekend is an elimination round. It is a cutoff. It's the final race in the round of 12.
Not a huge Roval fan, but I'm extremely excited for this race. Yeah.
Of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Welcome, folks. Lee Diffie along with Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett, Steve Letarte, and Kim Coon with you for this session. And Stevie, in many ways, it's an extended session. Lots of practice on this amended Roval track.
Yeah, 40 minutes total for each group. It'll be broken up basically into 20-minute sections. You mentioned a little bit of an adjustment. Most of it's happened in the infield, which we just saw from Chase Elliott. A little bit of a bottoming out there in the banking. Now we're on the backstretch chicane. DJ, this is normal, at least normal for this racetrack. Some big curbing you have to avoid, but it's this front stretch chicane that Chase will be entering that's had a little bit of adjustment to the curbing.
Yeah, and it's quite an adjustment as we watched the Xfinity cars and drivers maneuver around here earlier. The changes that have been made has changed the entry and how you go about getting through this with the highest amount of speed that you possibly can, and where you don't want to lose it. So as we look back as to what it was.
So this is the Roval of the past, and the big change here in the infield, the 5, 6, 7 combination has changed, where now you basically come out of turn 5 to a mini straightaway to a fast sweeping turn 6 into a 180-degree hairpin turn 7. Which then leads up onto the banking. Also some adjustments over there in 15, 16, and 17 that we talked about. And this is kind of that area. So we're heading into 5. DJ, you turn right, blind from 5 to 6.
Yeah, and you can see
cams are going to be good today, y'all, watching these things go through.
You can see right here, they have no idea what's on the other side there as they cross that hill. They're not even coming out of second gear. The Xfinity cars weren't anyway, and I'm sure a lot of it's going to be the same way here.
This hairpin is tight, y'all.
The corner to get back onto the oval part of the racetrack down in turn 1 of the oval
cutout bell
is completely different. More of a hairpin.
It's a crappy track, but it has produced some good moments
during today's Xfinity race plus tomorrow's Cup race in that area.
Stevie, get your magic marker. Get the
I heard. That's what we just talked about, David.
That area between 5 and 6 we were
exactly.
With Joey Logano.
Right here.
Just 5 there. 6. Yep. Folks, that is surprisingly fast and blind. The boys were talking about it being blind, but you go up and over there and you have to get your car position just right. Jeff Burton took Steve and myself for several laps around in the Toyota pace car earlier today, and it is a really eye-opening part of the track. TV may not do it justice, but you're going to see some action there. Yes, we focus on the tighter points of the track, DJ, where we're going to maybe see some adventurous moves, but something's going to happen over that crest between 5 and 6 and leading around to 7.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah,
we just talked about it a little while ago, but yeah, very interesting what Larson's spotter said.
Then tomorrow, that's only going to see opportunity there where somebody might misjudge that.
What's up, Rich?
Little bit. Someone else is playing it a little bit cautious.
AJ's undefeated here, so I'm going to ride with him. That's right.
And I just think that turn 7 is going to
look at that Allmendinger on top of the mountain already.
2, 3, and maybe 4 wide out of that.
Right here is where DJ's talking about.
Yes, you make this so you can see the drivers right now staying wide. They leave that inside open. Somebody's going to get there. Somebody behind there is going to say, oh, I can get to the outside of both of these. I think it's going to make for some big runs here.
Has been great.
Off of turn 2, if you will, of the oval down the back straightaway.
No surprise, A.J. Allmendinger, who's also in the Xfinity Series race. He had practice earlier today. He jumps to the top by 0.7 of a second. A monster lap there by the 16 car of A.J., who has laps on the new configuration from earlier.
SVG is not in this
Joey
practice,
Logano
y'all.
to the 16, the Kaulig Racing entry, the Celsius entry of A.J. Allmendinger. Gave it his best shot in Xfinity Series qualifying. That pole position went to Shane Van Gisbergen. AJ, the defending race winner here at the Bank of America Roval 400. He'd love to do it again. That'd mean a lot. Remember his emotional interview last year, Kim, where he said, when Marty asked him, why are you so emotional? He said, because you never know when it's going to be the last one. You never know when you're going to win again. So it was super important to AJ.
Yeah, almost in tears last year with this Cup Series when I talked to him this weekend just about what it means to be playing double duty, knowing what's on the line in the Xfinity Series. And he said it's such a huge advantage, regardless of the car's differences, getting extra seat time with these new changes.
Yes, sir. It's already, stream is up,
practice,
Michael.
I asked him headed into this practice, what jumped out at you in terms of the
they
track
were,
differences? And he said there were 2 things that he really
I didn't miss the Watkins Glen call.
that were different. And he said it feels like you actually have more car
Did they swap
control
paint
off of
schemes,
turn
right?
5 than before. Before he just felt like he was going to lose the car in years past. And then the other big thing, those
like, all right, you got the
tunnels
Menards
on
this
front
week.
Chicane, he said they felt way taller. In fact, during the Xfinity Series practice, it knocked the steering wheel out of his hands the first time he went over it. But he thinks it's because of the angle you're coming in now to that chicane. It's much sharper than years past.
So when AJ mentions turtles, so you see here around the track, there's normal, different
Keep it that
variation
like,
of
keep it
curving.
at that subscribe,
But
y'all. Trying to get to 100
chicane
likes.
specifically, there is the normal kind of red and white curving that you want to hit, but this blue area right here, this
79
whole blue
likes. Help
curving
us get
area
there, y'all.
is-
Keep hitting that
it's
like
3,
for us.
4, 5 inches tall, and you were shocked at the size of it. when we were out
3
there
o'clock
earlier.
Central.
These guys use more of that than you would imagine. I can see how it would definitely take the wheel out of your hand.
I walked
13
the track
minutes here
yesterday
in
afternoon
practice
when
1,
NASCAR made the
Group
track
A.
available to crew chiefs and engineers and the drivers, and it was fascinating. I was shocked at the size of those. They're metal. DJ, it's very prohibitive to go offline. You can use them, as you saw cars doing there, to their advantage to shortcut a
Hope
little
Justin
bit.
Haley has a
You
great
gotta bounce
weekend.
the
Hope
car
so
across
too,
them,
Ricky.
but if you get it at the wrong, if you're maybe trying to execute a pass, and you're going to leave the
15th
racing surface
fastest.
and you hit one of those, you're going to get some air.
God, he was so lucky last week.
The most importance is that you have your car going straight over that. If you happen to hit that at the wrong angle, if you happen to be side by side or
You're welcome.
someone that you're trying to keep behind you, you're going to open up a big door there, and the possibilities are endless as to what can happen then.
My first take on this track, it's a blend of speedway, road course, and street course. It's challenging.
All right, here's your drivers in Group A right now. AJ Allmendinger, the fastest, but look at Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar, second fastest right here. Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Brian Blaney, Noah Gregson, Christopher Bell, Harrison Burton, Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., last week's winner, Martin Truex Jr., his last Roval. I'm sure he was glad with that. Denny Hamlin, 15th, 16th, Corey LaJoie, 17th, Josh Berry, Ryan Preece, 18th, Josh Bilicki, 19th, 20th, Todd Gilliland, and 21st, Daniel Suarez. So there's your Group A drivers. What's up, Jake? Good to see you. And the Group B will come up. If you want to know who's in Group B, it is in the description. I have all drivers under their Group A or Group B in the description. I usually do that for you guys, so you at least know who's in Group A and Group B. Another note I got off of the Denny Hamlin podcast was, why did Denny Hamlin, he was way out of the playoffs before the big wreck of 28 cars or whatever it was, and then how did he end up 30-plus points ahead? Well, Denny was not able to be found whatsoever in that lead draft, and I found out that Denny was actually on the opposite end of the speedway. He was in the tri-oval because he had lost the draft, and he was having some issues with his car. So when he was going into turn 1 and 2, they were wrecking on the backstretch. And that's when his spotter said, they're wrecking, they're wrecking. So when he came around, you know, it looked like a war zone, he said. And then when he got back down to the start-finish line, he said there was only like 6 cars. So finally, as a Denny Hamlin fan, luck finally went off his side, and for his car to be doing horrible at the time, because you know he would have been in that wreck for sure. And then his season there's no way he would have been making up 15 or 20 points here today at the Roval, considering where he is right now. He's 15th fastest, not looking too good. But you're going to send a DM and a timestamp. Okay, thank you so much. I'll have to listen to it. Of course, I was on the cruise when that happened. But yeah, very interesting turn of events for Denny Hamlin. I think he was the only driver that really benefited out of that big wreck, which was crazy. I'm still amazed at the Talladega 4 wide for 20-plus laps without wrecking. And that's one thing that I forgot to talk about in our preview vlog, or recap of Talladega, and I wanted to show a little bit of that clip of 4 wide as one thing that I wanted to talk about, but I did not. But I regret doing that. But great racing last weekend. We hit 24,000. Of course, as you see below on our subscriber count, we've had a great week of baseball. We've been doing the NLDS, the Dodgers and the Padres series, and we had over 396 subs this week alone with 3 baseball games. It's been amazing, and we're going to continue our baseball. But right now, we're at the Charlotte Roval. Back to the audio of practice for Group A for the Bank of America Roval 400.
Peacock. Not sure teacup sounds scary, but the image looks scary.
Scared me.
Frightening.
Take you back and show you something that you're going to see a whole lot of later this afternoon in Xfinity Series racing, tomorrow in the Cup race.
Yeah, sorry, DJ, 5 to 6.
All right, thank you, Bronny.
We're going to see this a lot.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen is the drivers that are trying to make speed are staying out to what is the driver's right. But this is going to be the passing opportunity we talk about, and probably going to see contact there, and then drivers from behind seeing
Thanks
this
for the
happen
sub. Appreciate
and
it.
getting runs. So just, you know, it's opening up one more area. Oh, yeah, and then you can just shut them off completely.
That was Carson Hocevar letting Ryan Preece know that he wasn't too thrilled with the previous try on that. But we're going to see that a lot. And
Good Chase Elliott,
the first
P3.
shot that we showed you, Jeff Burton brought that up.
No
earlier
chance
today
for rain.
off
That's
air.
right.
He
It's
said,
blue
DJ,
sky.
It's so wide down there that the guy on the outside.
It don't matter.
is
We got
not
rain
necessarily
tires.
done,
We're good.
Right? You might try and make that move on the inside, but it's so
What's up, Christina
wide
G?
there
Good to see you. I haven't
that
seen you in a while.
Out of 7, that you may still have a chance to stay in the gas and keep
I'm
your
glad you're
position.
safe.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is he can keep his speed up. Where you're on the brake, he's rolling, so you might think that you've got a pass made, then all of a sudden you're too wide, and then that sets up an opportunity for a pass.
Watching these guys
from
through
behind,
turn
possibly.
7,
Well,
man.
because the faster line, as we've seen, is to stay way over here and make this a big circle, right, to get the exit.
They're
But when
talking
you come
about
out of
turn
this corner,
7.
If you just want to, like, literally straight line it to the bottom and then try to make the corner, you might not have the best speed leaving turn 7, but if I could shut you off, there you go. Sean wants to make my drawing better. So watch this car right here, right? So this is the better line, is over here, because it makes this really round, and you get the most, most speed exiting
When you're
that
going
way.
uphill,
but
too.
If you come off this corner and you just go straight to the curbing here, you basically are just, it's like a block in football. I take away the bottom lane. The question is,
Not only are they
when
trying
you're
to
that
make a
car
hairline
on the
turn, they're
outside,
going
if you
uphill
just
into the
abort
banking.
and carry the exit speed, you're either going to have more momentum on corner exit or maybe get run into the wall.
Allmendinger, 200ths of a second.
We're more than halfway through
or
this
above
first
the next
portion
guy.
of 20 minutes of practice. Then we'll go to the next group. They'll get 20 as well, and we continue practice leading into qualifying. Here's Bubba Wallace in the 23.11, number 23. Where's Bubba? He's top 5 on speed at the moment.
It'll probably after the race, Brody.
7 laps on his 8th. AJ Allmendinger sets the pace on the timing stand on the speed chart on your screen.
You think Hendrick? No,
Drivers
they will not.
underlined in yellow are, of course,
They will not have
playoff
all 4.
drivers, but
No way.
12 as of today and tomorrow
It ain't happening.
become 8 tomorrow afternoon, early evening.
Crew Chief Voodoo Barker looking on. I believe 2311 had a very organized plan to this because Bubba Wallace went right out on the rear bumper of the 45 of Tyler Reddick. Bubba's road course racing has improved greatly, but I do give some credit to Tyler. I give a lot to Bubba's and his effort and his work ethic. But give some to Tyler Reddick. He has just kind of raw speed in that 45 car, and I think letting somebody chase, you kind of have a bet. It's one thing to see data But when you watch the car in front of you, you get smaller in certain areas. You know that's where you have to improve.
So from one Toyota to another, from the 23 of Bubba Wallace to the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Here he is here in the Sport Clips Toyota Camry, and Denny is back in 15th. That's unusual.
Yeah, there's just been nothing smooth about the last 6
Hamlin
weeks.
going to Final Four, going to finally get a championship. Oh, Brandon, I hope, man. I hope, brother.
I was amazed whenever I looked at the finish and the amount of points that he is ahead after Talladega, because he had a couple of chances to make some opportunities work
if
out
it
to
happens,
get some
yeah,
points
I will say you called it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. There's no way all 4 drivers make the Final Four. Unless they all 4 win.
The big red,
but I don't see it happening.
Top 10 finish out of that, so I guess there is.
I'm an 11 fan, yeah, Brad. I can't wear any Denny stuff this weekend. I'm not allowed.
Never a better race to be a half lap behind than coming up turn 2 at Talladega last week.
You're right,
so
Desert Fox.
The lead playoff driver in this practice session just so happens to be a 2-time winner here. Chase Elliott sits 3rd at the moment.
All right, we got about 5 minutes. There's Chase Elliott. He's my prediction for the pole, but we'll see. AJ Allmendinger is going to be tough to beat here for the pole. But thanks so much, guys. Oh, look at that. We're 1 sub away from 24,400. Hit that sub, hit that like for us as well. Way over 100 likes. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes now on the channel. So thank you guys so much for tuning in on an early Saturday afternoon stream. Coming up right after this will be the Drive for the Cure 250 from the Charlotte Roval, the NASCAR Xfinity Series last round of 12 race. To get in, there's 4 drivers that do not want to get left out, including SVG, including the pretty much all season point leader, Justin Allgaier. Allgaier and SVG both dominating this season, and they're both right now out of the top 8. So let's see what happens with that. It's the elimination race here. We'll start the round of 8 next week. But thank you guys so much. We're going to Vegas next week. Vegas is a night race next week, so there's gonna be a late practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series next Saturday, and then the Xfinity race is at 6:30 Central tomorrow, next Saturday. So good there. Keep on hitting that like button for us. 465 of us here. Hit that like for us. SV driving in this race, yes, he is not. He's in Group B right now, so he's not able to. But there's about 4 more minutes left on practice for the NASCAR Cup Series drivers in Group A. Thank you for that. 24,400. We are now 600 subs away from 25,000. 25,000, y'all. That is huge. We are a quarter of away from our goal of 100,000 subscribers at 25K. So that is crazy, considering that we started the year with, I think, less than 8,000. Which is crazy to think that we've learned that many new friends here on our channel, and I must be doing something right because it shows. So the most cars for the Final Four from one team has been 2. So the most cars from a Final Four from one team has been 2. But I just don't see it. I don't see Hendrick having all 4. There's so many other better drivers out there, like Christopher Bell. Like, there's no way. I mean, if Christopher Bell does not get in the Final Four, there's something wrong with that, because the guy is so good, and he's been there 2 years in a row, the Final Four. So why not have him there? But crazy stuff, y'all. Back to it here.
A little bit of movement after stage 2. Chase Elliott starting to climb up a little bit. This is before the big one. I want to pause here. 4 laps to go in the race.
All right, listen to this.
He's at the top. Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney losing points, both involved in accidents. Then 28 cars wrecked on the backstretch. We go into overtime. What does that do? Well, now poor Cindric next to last, all the way down there at 11th. Hamlin and Blaney, the big winners, if anybody can win in an accident, just because they weren't involved. Blaney was already out of the race. Hamlin was a half a lap behind, so they
that's a good deal, David. I understand that.
Lost points.
What's the moral of the story, DJ?
Well, sometimes when you're sitting in your motorhome and watching the end of a race, and you're feeling really bad for what happened, something can happen.
You're right, William.
All of a sudden, you feel great. You get in your plane and you go home.
I wouldn't say calling is going to steal a playoff spot.
Make the putt. Then there's other
Kaulig
times
has
you wish that
won
your opponent
races this
misses.
year. I mean,
That
it's
was Blaney. He was hoping all
you
his
win a
opponents
race,
messed
that's
it
the
up.
rules. You win a race, you
Let's talk more
advance.
about this man
You win a
here,
race,
the
you
reigning
advance. That's
series
how it's
champion,
set up.
Kim.
So I wouldn't say
great
it's a
stats when it
steal.
comes to this
They still
course.
won
He has
the
a win
race.
here and 4 top 10s. So checked in with the team as they sit plus 25 headed into this elimination race. And crew chief Jonathan Hassler said they feel like the goal is a
Okay, let me read it again.
Now, obviously, that they want more than that tomorrow.
A deserved
but they
playoff
feel like
spot
that would solidly
opportunity
move them on.
tomorrow.
He actually
Okay,
said
got you.
as low as 13
Got you.
points,
I see what
depending on
you're
what other
saying. Oh,
teams
the
do,
cup race.
could
Okay.
transfer them to the next round. The plan, though,
I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win tomorrow. Not in that 13 car. No, he's not.
Q run, but Steve, as we talk about long runs on the Roval,
What's up, Rising
how
Rhino?
different
Good to
is
see
that
you.
setting up your race car for a long run at a course like this versus when we're on an oval?
Well, so I tell you, Kim, normally in practice, you don't
Thank
get
you, buddy.
enough time to make a long run on a road course. So I love these
Oh,
teams making the long run.
Allmendinger, yeah,
So to your
okay.
point about the balance shift, at the oval, normally it's a distinct
See, I just
balance
automatically
shift
think you're
normally to the
talking
front.
about,
The longer you
you know.
drive, the front tires heat up, normally you get a little tight. There's a few exceptions, some tracks where the back goes away. Here at the Roval, a little bit of it is rear traction because the rear tires
Welcome,
go away, but
MJW.
DJ, some of it is driver ability. You can start to shift a little
About
different.
9
You can
seconds
adjust the
left
brake
here in
bias. So
practice.
I know the car balance is going to shift, but can you also tell me, like, hey, I'm going to have to handle this, or maybe this one corner, or maybe this area of the racetrack is where we lose versus our competitors?
Yeah, and this is my opinion.
Rising Rhino, make
Look,
sure you
it
check out our
hasn't been the
cruise
speed.
vlogs.
They've had
I got them
speed.
all
The
in our
driver does a
playlist
great
on my
job.
channel.
I think there's two things.
We had
You know,
8-day
you hate to
cruise
put things
to
on
ABC
luck,
Islands. Check
but
those
this team
out.
has had some really bad
48
luck.
all the way,
Some
Lester.
Of it, though, coming from a poor qualifying effort.
All right, Davey.
That has to be their
You're
biggest
right.
thing on their mind today.
Yeah, check them out, Rising Rhino.
Qualifying
It's
lap.
fun.
And
I think it's
so
like
much so
6
they're
or
gonna
7
make a
of
mock
them.
run, right? So they're going to let Blaney have a shot at how to attack a racetrack that has a lot of very scary corners to overdrive.
And that's what that second block of practice is going to do. That's the
He's-
end of
he's
Group
not-
1,
he's in Group
practice
B.
1. More
He's in
is
Group
coming
B.
up. Group 2 will get their first shot at it.
Wow,
And this
look
is
at
all
Gregson go
funneling down,
high.
leading us to qualifying for the Bank
These
of
guys
America
are getting some
Roval
lift off
400.
these little bumps. Crazy stuff. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is CeeLo. If you're just joining us, almost 500 of us in here watching some NASCAR Cup practice and qualifying. Group A just finished. AJ Allmendinger is the fastest. Carson Hocevar, Chase Elliott, my pick for the pole. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace are your top 5. There's Christopher Bell too. I have Tyler Reddick winning the race, and I have Christopher Bell as my dark horse for tomorrow. So both of my drivers are in the top 6, which is good to see in Group A. Now, what will happen in Group B? Now, Group B, they don't do their own little thing. They will also Todd Gilliland, Daniel Suarez, and Justin Haley and Daniel Hemrick apparently did not qualify or didn't run practice. So that's going to be interesting. Gilliland, Suarez, Haley, and Hemrick, especially Suarez being a playoff driver, did not get on the track, which is weird too. But let's see if they add or they just put new drivers. Normally in Group B, they'll just add to this list. So we'll see what happens. But there's your list. Denny Hamlin, their 15th fastest. He is not good at road courses. He's horrible at road courses. He's never been a road course racer. And I hate to keep on talking about the Denny podcast, but it was funny when he was like, your season totally changed around after that big wreck. He's like, I don't know why you're talking about that, because I was going to win the Roval. And they all started laughing, which is funny. They're in Group B, yes. So Tyler Reddick will win the race. Dalton says, do you know Alex Bowman has finished in the top 10 in every race at the Roval? I did not know that, Lester, but that's a great stat. How many minutes do they get in practice? They get 20 minutes. Okay, Rod Brown, is the 13 slow car for some reason? The 13 car is not racing yet. He is in Group B. SVG is in Group B, so their keys coming up next. They're not called bumps, CeeLo. They're called curves, or also called turtles. Okay, sorry. Thank you for correcting me. The history of the 13 car. Oh, I would say possibly driver, but like, let's compare it to what's her name? Everybody wanted to know where she's at. Deegan, right? So everybody says, where's Deegan? Where's Deegan, right? Then Deegan gets taken out of the car and they put Joey Logano in there and he still has a bad finish. They put Cup drivers in there, and he still has a bad finish. It's the team. That's what I'm saying. It's the team. The cars. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that SVG is going to be slow. I'm just saying the history of that team beating these other drivers is what I'm saying.
Completed its 20-minute
Nothing against SVG and how he drives in these road courses, but he doesn't have the equipment that these other guys have. That's what I'm trying to say.
No surprise to
it's
see
the team, it's not the driver.
How about Tyler Reddick? He hopes that's going to be emblematic of a turnaround in form after 4 races, 20th or worse.
No,
Fourth
you're
on the
crazy.
speed chart and a long run, DJ. I liked what I saw at a Reddick. Ran 13 laps straight. The same at a Bell, Logano, Blaney, and Hamlin.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying SVG is going to be slow. I'm saying the team is going to be slow. And that deals with pit stops. That deals with a whole bunch of stuff. The equipment, everything. The team has to be on it.
Driver getting themselves acclimated. I know they've been in the sim a lot this week and getting that, but when you really get on the track and in these cars, you see exactly what you can and can't do. And then going on making a long run. See, okay, I'm getting better here, but this is what we're going to need to do.
Group B practice.
I'm interested to hear what the driver's
preparation.
feedback is and just general thought about the adjustments. Because sim is one thing, but then being on the track for real.
No, not at all.
Yes,
no.
we are green here in Charlotte. We're going.
It's not you.
That to me is another fascinating point of this track. Out of turn 1, up and over that crest to a concrete line. It's very much like
what does old T Swizzle say?
Dipping down
it's
around
me.
to the left.
I'm the problem. It's me.
From the competitive standpoint, but one thing that I don't think it's circled enough is from a race standpoint. I know Daytona's very similar. This one's named the Roval. Daytona has the same layout inside the infield, but it's a much larger facility. But if you want to see a NASCAR road course, and really any road
this is why I look forward to
Daytona,
weekends, y'all. Y'all are funny and fun.
You know, you buy one seat here, and you see the
love to hang out with
now.
you guys for hours watching races
like
with
up
you
here
guys.
from the TV booth, we can see the whole track. If you buy a seat in the grandstands, you can see the whole facility.
I hope you feel the same about me.
You know, Marcus Smith and his group kind of forward thinking of delivering an opportunity to the race fan.
Believe it or not, once we did with the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series, we did a road course. We did a Roval race at Iowa Speedway.
Thank you, Desert
race
Fox.
there for the first time this year. You know how small
all
that
400
is?
drivers make it to the round of 8. Oh, I believe that, Jason.
Wow, many years ago. That
I
was
believe that. What up, T-Van? No purple.
He has.
I tell you, I could watch cars
nice
from the front stretch chicane. If we just watch the front stretch and watch the variety of cars, just how they come through. Here are 3, right? A little bit of curb, more curb for Suarez, huge amount of curb for Brad. That front stretch chicane, there's so much speed to be gained there. But if you hit it wrong, the left-hander becomes a big issue, as Kyle Busch makes it look pretty easy. Haley.
Oh boy, Ty Gibbs.
All right,
Ty Gibbs missed that turn completely.
Right here for just a minute, and we talk about inbounds.
I hope Willie wins mellow yellow. It's a great paint job.
Right side tires get here. So
you're wearing your Roval hat.
Your lefts are here, and nothing is touching this part of the curb. That's missing the chicane. That will be a penalty. So if you hit the first one incorrectly,
what's a penalty going to be? A pass through?
It'll be you have an opportunity to
stop. Not a big Denny fan, but he definitely deserves a championship.
Stop on the front stretch right here. Drivers left at the start finish line.
I hope so, Rich.
It's going to show us the back stretch chicane as well. So you could stop over here where it says Charlotte.
Yep.
You can come over there, or if we go back.
He's been so close, Desert Fox, so many times.
Then you get to stop drivers.
Thank you, Holly. I'm glad you're
here.
here.
On the left side of our screen, you can stop as well. So 2 penalty boxes.
So like the Glen.
Like the Glen.
Right.
And if you miss the back stretch, you could stop on the front. And so you'd stop over here.
I love it. I love the paint job.
You end up anyway. And I like that because you lose about 25
Someone's going to hit that wall today. I have a feeling.
If you do it very efficient, penalty paint, stopping, knowing you have to stop and get going, you lose less time than that. But you only have a lap to figure it out. You can't ride around 4 or 5 to see if it was a penalty.
Billy Bowles dropping those knives.
Saying, DJ, you self-police. If you think you've missed it, serve the penalty. We're going to go back and watch the video, and if we think we missed it, you'll have to do a pass-through if you run another lap. So as a spotter, I think it's way easier here on the front than the back. But the front stretch, I would just say, I don't like it, Dale, but I think you missed. We have to stop. Serve the penalty.
I'm sure Suarez will make the next round. Pretty sure Hendricks will get all 4 of them.
As we get here to turn
Dale Jr. deserves a championship. Yeah.
If a driver forces someone off, which would be to the driver's left, so
have not won a championship.
Fault there. So instead of stopping here on the front until they make their call, you have the opportunity all the way to the back straightaway.
Right, but you just hope NASCAR makes a call by the backstretch. It's going to be interesting. You know, I mean, this is the same conversation when we go to Daytona and Talladega. Did you force me below the double line, or did I go there on my own, you know?
Yeah.
14 and a half minutes left in Group 2, their first block of practice. When we come back, we're going to ask DJ how he would have raced here at the Roval.
All right, let's see. I have the screen up here like this is because the Group 2B drivers are now finally blending in with the Group A drivers. And let's see. Allmendinger only ran 9 laps and still the fastest. Austin Cindric. Someone said Austin Cindric for the pole today. There he is in P2. SVG now in 4th. He's ran 2 laps. Willie B, Kyle Larson. Everybody else ran about 13, but Allmendinger only ran 9 in Group A. But we're in Group B practice now, and they're mixed together. I wish they would do their own chart so we wouldn't have to do this. But Kyle Busch, they're in 13th. Suarez, 15th. I guess he decided to do it in Group B. There we go. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you'd like to become a member and have use of those emojis that you see folks using, we would love for you to become a member. 99 cents gets you access to those emojis. It's the rookie membership. Pro is $1.99, and that is for all the emojis, and you get early access to vlogs. I've been trying to get the Friday vlog out for the last 2 Fridays, but I've been so busy at work, plus stuff going on the night before, I've been able to get it all done, so it's been coming out at the same time for everybody. But we have had our last installment of our cruise vlog that was up about 4 or 5 days before anybody in the public saw it. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. And then MVP, you get the emojis, the early access to the vlogs, and a live stream for MVP. And I've been so busy for that too. I do deserve y'all need multiple live streams for the MVP viewers as well. That's $2.99. And we love for you to join our membership. We have about over 200 members now, and we love for you. You get your name in green, just like Desert Fox there, dropping those emojis with the 5s. You get to use those during the races, and if we're doing something else, it also changes as well. So you have baseball. We've had all Dodgers and Padres emojis this week, and now it's racing. And then the Xfinity race will have all the cars for the Xfinity race in there too as well. So if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, make it even better, trying to get us to 25,000 this week, that would be awesome. Hit the like, become a member, send a super chat. Everything goes back of it. You can't do any of that. Enjoy just sitting here, hanging out, watching the races with us. Now, the Xfinity race will be bringing the live cams to you guys, the aerial cam, the battle cam, and some in-car cameras. So there it is. So back to the audio now.
We're kind of racing in Hendrick Motorsports' backyard. There's his crew chief looking on.
Random
What's
beer
be the
guy.
Combination? How are they feeling? They've got a little bit more of a cushion.
Joey drove that car to top 10 in the top
top
15 finish, John says.
Well.
Dean
So
couldn't get it done in the top 20. It's not the team or the car. It was the feedback the driver gave the team.
They weren't in the wrong place at the wrong time, like Kyle
fair
said,
enough, David.
at drafting tracks. And one came their way last weekend. Let's have a listen to some recent radio.
And don't overrun 7. Coming down the hill for turn 6, Chase is about 1 car length wider. The rest is good. The 2 areas we need help is wider between 3 and 4 for a better shot off of 4, and we can still arc out 6 a good bit more. Guys are arcing 6 out and getting a good run into 7.
That's the exit of 6 and into 7 right there.
Arcing a little wider, getting a better
This
run.
is Kyle Larson,
DJ, let's answer the question. We went
crew
to the break
chief
with.
talking.
Anything you would have tackled
Thank
the
you,
road?
Evil
And would you have liked
Chucky.
to have raced
Evil
here?
Chucky, awesome.
I think it would have been a nice challenge.
Thanks for that.
I'm going to go to Larson first.
Oh,
one
Cole.
thing I came along at the right
it's all
time.
good, buddy.
My crew chief and spotter didn't
It's all
have the
good, my
ability
friend.
to give me so much information. I didn't want to hear a lot of that stuff. I could see a lot of it.
Because they're not
it wasn't
available,
my
Rich,
style.
and we
But,
can't show the
yes,
practice.
hey,
We're not showing the broadcast. We never
then I'll
show the
put it like
broadcast.
this. With every corner past 4, so that means we have 13 more corners here. It gives me just another opportunity to lose more time. So just more places to run off. It would have been a challenge.
What's up, Maurice?
What they're doing here is fascinating. I think I would have embraced that, but the difficulty level of this, especially with it being a cutoff race, is just incredible. I have people ask me all the time that, who came up with this schedule? I said, I don't know exactly, but you can be rest assured that it wasn't a driver.
Hit that like button for us.
Just under 10 minutes to go. Austin Cindric leads the way on time. William Byron, who's locked in already, his teammate at
Trying to get to
Hendrick
200
Motorsports.
likes.
Boy, oh boy, what a playoffs it has been for this man here. Alex Bowman answering the call. More stage points earned in the postseason, and he's earned more points
So
than anybody in the
Cindric, top of the
playoffs as
order
well.
right
It has
here,
been a
fastest right
rock-solid
now over
performance.
It's been the key
SVG
to
and
the 48
Byron.
playoffs, and I think that's the key to their Roval. 26 points above is comfortable.
It'll be a good race today, Dalton. That's right.
You can be eliminated. You can lose 26 points, but DJ qualify inside the top 10. I don't mean winning stages. Run 5th, 6th in both stages, and you score yourself 6 or 8 total points. Now you have made the task of catching you very difficult for somebody below the cut line. So I really think, though, the entire playoff field is thinking the same thing. Qualify well and run well in those stages.
Yeah, I think one thing that's to his advantage, as you pointed out very well, that stages, right strategies have been a big part of this, putting the driver in the good situations. But you have to look at the people that are behind
8 minutes
him
left in
that
Group
have
B.
to be jumped over first, or to have others that have to have an even better day to move themselves ahead of him. So I think they're in a great position. They seem to be managing these races really well. Driver making really good decisions most of the time.
And that strategy and that play for the 48 team has worked when you get the non-playoff race winners, right?
Yeah.
He's gathering those stage points. He's maximizing everything.
Was that your SVG lead, the non-playoff race winners? Would you serving up that could be SVG?
That was an accidental cut. Got to talk to Sean Owens, our director. That was.
Well, I will say
he was one step ahead of us, as always.
I mean, he was at the top of everyone's mind. Remember, so close at Watkins Glen. Chris Buescher, another non-playoff driver, ended up besting SVG through the bus stop, and it was a great final lap. He's going to be fun to watch because I think he is comfortable with full contact, comfortable with this proximity. I know this isn't a street course, but you think of how good he is at Chicago. The Cup guys are going to have a little more advantage here because they've seen this place multiple times, but this infield, especially this section right here.
6 p.m. here in London, England. Awesome, Davey. Welcome in.
Course, full contact field.
Yeah. If you were paying attention right there,
That voice is awesome. Lawson.
And positioned himself for
Lawson.
16, and then to get the exit off of 17, coming to the start-finish line, how much he gapped Daniel him in that part. Watched him in the Xfinity car earlier today, and there were at least 3 times that he overdrove a couple of corners. He was finding the limits before he ever went and put down the fast laps that he made. He was really comfortable in doing that and finding that, and then when it came time to go win the pole, he did exactly that, Kim.
Yeah, and you mentioned Daniel Hemrick behind.
Evil
Shane
Chucky says it's 4 a.m. in Australia. You guys are awesome.
Follow you to learn. We saw this also with Shane, drivers in his tire tracks at the Chicago Street Course. So, DJ, what can you learn in the shadows of a driver that you know is going to be very good at a racetrack?
Yeah, well, first off, you better learn quickly because he's going to become a small object before too long. He's just so good at it. But what you see are how he sets himself up for the entries to these corners, because one thing that SVG is better than a lot of people is making that exit, getting his car positioned to where he can make the speed, leaving these corners, that he can be forceful in racing and getting into the corner and taking your spot, but where he makes his speed is setting up and getting on the exit of these corners. And someone like Daniel Hemrick can see that he's not overdriving getting there.
My dad's boss races at Baja every year.
Nice.
And it's a very unfamiliar field this weekend for Shane because it's the Bathurst 1000 in Australia. First time that he has missed it while he's been overseas. It feels different for him.
All right, another commercial break. AJ Allmendinger still leads from Group A, but Austin Cindric there in P. He's the fastest in Group B. William Byron, and then SVG, and then Kyle Lawson. Thank you, Chuck, for subscribing. A lesson in hate, 4 a.m. watching from Sydney. You guys love your racing, man. You love your SVG. 4 a.m. Sunday, Monday, that international date line will screw you up, Cole Trickle says. That's right. Happy Sunday to everybody out there that's watching. Appreciate you being here. And we're going to be bringing back the live audio here in just a second. And I'm going to be Group A qualifying coming up after this. So let's see here. Maurice says Chase Elliott. He was my pole pick as well, Maurice. So we're on the same page there. We are on the same page there. Look at Spain's arm.
What arm?
Yeah. She's there's something wrong with her today though, y'all. I'm and she's got orange on. I'm shocked. You
can't break the green screen.
Yeah, you can't. Oh well.
Here,
She's wearing Tennessee orange.
Can't break the green screen.
Hold on a second.
Hold on. I got Tennessee. I can't break the green screen. It doesn't want to see it. It doesn't want to see it on me. See, look. It's in denial. It's just because they're playing Florida.
Jake says, ooh.
Yeah, I'm still go Dogs, but we're playing Mississippi State. Tennessee is playing Florida, so.
Jake says, ooh. Douglas says the 43 and the 42 only made a few laps. Why don't they make changes and get back out there and see if they get better? I don't get it. I know. Some teams just, maybe they see enough. They got enough. They're like, all right, we've got everything we need. But look at some of these drivers, like 5 laps, 100, the 42 there, 5 laps, 43, 4 laps. Yeah, you're right.
That's right, Cole Trickle.
Cole Trickle, what he said, the green screen isn't a Tennessee fan. She said, Vandy. Yeah.
Kathy, it's after 12. Where are you?
The 12. Let's see. Kaz Gralla, 6 laps. Hamrick, 9 laps. I guess they're happy with their slow cars. Look at Chris Buescher. He only has 5 laps as well. Guess they're like, we've seen enough. We've seen enough.
Group, and then everybody gets to do it all over again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway's Roval. This is one of the playoff drivers. This is Chase Briscoe.
Mark Evans says denied.
Became a dad of 3.
Go Longhorns,
yes,
Richard says.
He and wife Marissa were parents, but then the twins, they finally arrived and were welcomed into the world. We say
Briscoe's
hello to
had his
Cooper
babies.
and Collins.
Well, his wife had his babies.
And
Maurice, that's right, go Vols.
All the best. Dad's got to go back to work, and here he is in the Ford Performance Racing School design car. Let's talk more about this guy. It's a massive weekend.
1,000 on today. They were just talking about SPG missing it for the very first time.
He is in last place in the playoffs. He needs some of that Darlington magic again.
Yeah, looking for magic this weekend, but you mentioned the birth of his twins, so he was kind of out of the shop this week. Joey Hand stepping in, did all their development stuff that Chase would normally do during the race work, and Joey Hand is a road course ace. He's been with this team all this year.
Okay, that's right. Maybe that's what it is, Lloyd.
Road course program better. He was there at Watkins Glen.
I guess after 5 laps, you know what you got.
He's here this weekend because he's over at Road Atlanta for the Petit Le Mans. But as we talk about this team, what they're trying to accomplish moving into the round of 8, they are the only SHR car that is currently in the playoffs, and that works in their favor.
For reals,
I talked
Mark.
to Crew Chief Richard Boswell before this practice, and he said, look, we've got all 3 teammates in Group A. They can get us information. And oh, by the way, Noah Gregson in the 10 has an identical setup to Chase Briscoe. And then Josh Berry, his other teammate, is running what Richard called their option B setup to get as much information to get him set up for hopefully a successful tomorrow and try and moving on in the playoffs.
We talked setups, watching this car go around the racetrack, and I'm sure Richard Boswell is watching as well. The back just doesn't look controlled enough for me. It's very soft in the back, very squishy. It kind of rolls and slides. Even right there in the braking, you see the back movement. You watch Chase try to hustle the car through the chicane. It just seems like it's rear limited. And not that it's so stiff that it's sliding, but it's actually so compliant that it kind of rolls and tumbles and wiggles and moves, and it just doesn't really look locked to the racetrack. Now look, 25 laps on tires, maybe the rear tires are holding on longer, and it's a long-run theory, but the back of the car looks like it doesn't have a lot of control, at least for my taste, compared to this too. And just see, like, the back of this car.
Watching it now, Bronny.
I don't know. I mean, I know it's small, the nuance is small, but the back of this car, even though it looks like it's down vertically, it seems to be more controlled platform as far as body roll, and even right there leaning on the left rear, it's not walking out as much.
By the way, you may have noticed the pink window nets, and that is the drivers and teams' way of showing their support for recognizing National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The NASCAR playoff drivers showing that support. So if you were wondering why is that pink, I was chatting to one of the fans on the track walk yesterday. He had dyed his beard, and it was a pretty big beard. He dyed his beard pink.
That's commitment there.
Yes, exactly.
That's a great call. I remember I heard that when I was doing the recap videos.
Halfway through, DJ. Thanks for hanging out with us for a bit.
Sure thing.
Jeff Burton is on his way. The mayor is on his way into the office.
All right, so that's the end of practice for Group A and Group B. Hope everybody's had a good day so far. Hit that like for us, subscribe to the channel. I gave your 14,000 subscription just to see the pie in the face. Nice signature move, John says. There you go. Thank you so much. We did a pie in the face last week for 24,000, so that was fun. And we try to do it every time, but 25K, if we hit 25K this weekend, we might have a real cake to the face. Not a pie, a real cake to the face for 25,000. So, and we'll see what else we could do for 25K. But I hope everybody's having a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And hit the like for us. We're bringing you now qualifying for Group A. And Kenneth Fox, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you being here, too. So I always watch the Indy 500, so I know Lee Diffie would fit right in. He was the best part of the Indy 500. Yeah, he's grown on everybody here. A lot of people are like, why did they change it up? Why is he there? But yeah, it's really good. But thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm still saying Chase Elliott for the pole. That's my opinion. I was filled to the brim with joy when I heard Buescher won the Glen. I was just like, wow. I'm starting to appreciate Denny after listening to him on his podcast. Yeah, and like I said, like Denny, like he just says his thing now, y'all. He's like, what else? I mean, he already sued NASCAR, so what else can he get in trouble with, right? So he's just letting it all hang out. He's just letting it all go now. So, all right, we're in qualifying now for Group A. So this should be interesting to see how this goes. As they're putting the drivers in. That's right, Jamie. Hope Skippy doesn't show up this year. Caleb Adams, what's going on? Terry, good to see you. Appreciate you. Jamie says Bathurst practice was delayed due to a giant brown snake on the track. You can see it on Speed Cafe site. That's crazy. Let's see. I missed some stuff while I was talking to Spain. Someone had picked Cindric for the pole, and then Kimberly said Cindric for the pole. Gator Dad for Mark Evans. Go Oregon, beat Ohio State, Jake says. SVG won the Xfinity pole. Yes, he is on the pole. He's for real. Wear the hat. Yeah, the agreement is if you guys get a milestone, I can't wear Denny Hamlin the next week. That's the agreement that I've had all year, and we'll keep that agreement, and then we'll rewrite a new contract next year. Now, next year, I'm not sure how it's going to go next year. We got the cams will not be available to us free anymore. They will be on HBO Max, so we'll see how that goes.
Group, here are the combined speeds and times, with AJ Armendinger being the quickest from Group A. Zane Smith with a quali run in Group B. There's the speeds and the times as we now go back into practice mode, back to Group A, and continue this work. How's your favorite driver looking? How's Christopher Bell looking if you're a Christopher Bell fan? He's well placed in the playoffs as we welcome Jeff Burton back into the booth. DJ steps out for a bit. Jeff, what did you take from Xfinity practice qualifying? What did you like that you saw in the first phase of practice here in Cup?
I think everybody's trying to figure out.
You like the Dirty Mo podcast? Yeah, they do. They're pretty good job.
And also this front straightaway chicane, and kind of everybody's come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, they're going to HBO Max next year, which is a bummer.
To stay against the right side of the road all the way.
I got some plans on maybe writing HBO Max and see if I can get permission to show them.
But I think tomorrow in the race we're going to see a lot different.
Since it's going to be on like
about how to pass and how to keep
I think their website or something.
All right,
I'm
let's
not
go
sure.
for a ride. Have a listen. Let's do a full lap.
affect any wins. They should get to wear it every stream. This is Tyler Reddick. They're showing here.
Really good 3 and 4. Really good 3 and 4 that time. Switches where you need them.
Yeah, this is qualifying.
Good 7.
Tyler Reddick. I guess everybody's going. It's not one car at a time. Yeah, it's been a great time this year, y'all. P1. Tyler Reddick.
P2 right now, 07, fastest of 8380.
Stevie, there's a full lap. Part of that run with Tyler Reddick sounded so smooth. Smooth enough to go to P1 for the time being, but now he's pushed back to P3. And there were other aspects of the lap that sounded quite agricultural.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talk a lot about the combination of the racetrack and what it looks like from the infield to the banking. Well, one thing is that the crew chiefs are going to have to adapt their race cars. So if you want the car to have grip through the slower, slippery infield section where Reddick is right here, then when you come out of turn 7
That's
right
what
here,
I like about him, John. He tells you like it is.
The back of this
He doesn't care if nobody likes him.
Solid on the rear shock stops right here through the banking. There's really no suspension.
Oh, wait a minute. This is not qualifying. This is practice.
But to have the grip everywhere else, you have to give
It's another 20-minute practice for Group A. I'm sorry. I'm wrong.
Through goes
This
Harrison
is Group
Burton.
A
What happens
practice.
to Josh Berry here.
Whoa. Yeah, that's the front chicane. He just didn't get lined up on those curves very well. When he hit them, he was kind of trying to turn the car, and it just spun him out. Those blue turtles, they're huge. When you hit those things,
This is Group A practice.
Up in the
yeah,
air.
more practice. So 40 minutes of practice.
Take it all day long, right? I mean,
I'm talking about
very
practice.
durable, but
yeah, it says practice number 2. Okay.
Every lap.
I'm sorry about that, y'all.
You know what a flying green turtle is? You know, like those kids' luge you can sit in. Adults can fit in as well. It's like, kind of like a street luge.
I don't know, but it sounds like I don't want to know what it is.
It's pretty fun. So when I lived here in Charlotte, there was a group of us. We used to race those at night time. That was pretty fun. But we could call these the flying blue turtles.
Flying blue turtles. There's flying cars and blue turtles.
Keep that like button. We're trying to get to 200. Well, qualifying started at 11:30, and the race will start at 3.
One lap and done, or 2 laps actually.
Yeah.
I would say that was a qualifying.
It says on the
run,
TV.
My assessment.
Practice number 2.
AJ Armadinger sits second. Bubba Wallace had a pretty decent first block of practice. He sits in the top 5. That's exactly where he finished
I'm not talking about a game. I'm talking about
20-minute period.
practice.
We've got 14 and a half minutes left here.
Allen Iverson, baby.
And Bubba's been pretty nice and consistent.
I believe Hocevar will get the nod for Rookie of the Year. Oh, for sure.
Off to a good start here in Charlotte for the Roval weekend.
So I guess because of all the changes to the Roval that are giving them a little extra practice, another set of 20 minutes. So everybody, we still love you, Sela. Oh, thank you, David. So they're giving each team 20 minutes for A, 20 minutes for B, 20 minutes for A, 20 minutes for B, and then qualifying will be done. So we'll see how this is. Baseball on Game 5. We're going to be bringing you Game 1 of the NLCS on Sunday. Dodgers versus Mets. So hope to see everybody there for that. Dodgers versus Mets for Game 1 of the NLCS. We'll be bringing that to you on Sunday evening. Well, of course, we'll have our races on Sunday afternoon. And then the Roval starts early on Sunday. I think it's like 12:30. So do they get another set of tires for the second practice? I am not sure about that. And yeah, Cleveland and Detroit are on. Lots of NCAA as well down there below. So it starts at 2:30 Eastern. I thought it was earlier than that. Let's see. Tomorrow's race schedule. Starts at 1 o'clock, so we'll be live tomorrow at 12:30 Central. Yeah, 12:30 Central will be on, so for pre-race ceremony. So make sure you guys come home, get some lunch, and have at it. So I hope you guys are hitting that subscribe for us. NASCAR denied the 2311 was denied by their injunction for 2025 charter. Oh my gosh, here we go. ARCA announced they will race at Rockingham next year, so they're joining the Xfinity and the trucks at ARCA at Rockingham next year. So who ended up having the best record this year for MLB? I think it was the Phillies, right? The Phillies? Or was it the Dodgers? I think it was the Phillies. LA, I believe. I thought it was Phillies. But I could be wrong. But it doesn't matter. Phillies sitting on the couch. The Phillies are sitting on the couch. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun watching these races this year. And then the cams after NBC took over have been awesome as well. And we'll be live today at 2:30 for pre-race ceremonies for the NASCAR Xfinity race today. 2:30 Central, and then during qualifying, I will put the pin message for the link to the race today.
Network television on NBC, and we'll go racing in the final race of the round of 12. It's an elimination race, 2:30 Eastern on NBC.
Coach fan here, like always, wait till next year.
Joey Logano is 13 points behind the cut line. He's got to have a good day tomorrow if he's going to advance into the playoffs. His teammate Austin Cindric, I think, has one of the very best cars at the Roval this weekend, but I don't feel like Logano or Blaney have the pace that the 2-car has at this point.
All right, somebody who would like a little more pace, somebody who's not happy is the defending race winner, AJ Allmendinger. Here's some recent radio.
We're a good bit off here, man. I feel like we're way off here. Just lacking lateral. I feel like the lap term's falling off way too much. Careful, come here and make a change. It's really not compared to the other cars. You're probably still the fastest car right here. Felt like I could see Ross behind me kind of running me down.
So Allmendinger, he's
just how good
been fastest this whole entire time, but he's complaining about his car.
Doesn't sound like AJ loves the way it drives. Now, if you're if you feel like you are the fastest car, then I'm okay if it doesn't drive good. But I have to agree with AJ. I think he's good, but I don't know if he's the standout best car here.
Well, their standards are what?
Yeah,
to win. They're not looking to run 5th.
45 spun, exit of 17.
Uh-oh. Tyler Reddick is spun.
Red is out here at the Roval.
I turned it over backwards for like 4 or 5 seconds.
Tyler Reddick trying to get the 45 Monster Toyota rolling and running again.
My pick to win the race.
Look at what happened.
I bet there's some turtles involved.
A turtle. Oh, yeah.
Corrected. I actually think that was just free in the back. It didn't look like he hit him very hard, Jeff.
Right there.
Yeah.
You got airborne.
So, I mean, I think, but a combination.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
If you hit those and the car is starting to come around, then it's loose and you hit them and it just knocks you completely loose. So, a combination of those two things. And this is one thing that teams are terrified of, right? You could spin out, Kim, and really just have a simple spin, but your car not refire.
Yeah, and as you hear Tyler Reddick trying to refire, before that they had told him to stay off the curb as much as you can because it's better for us in our lap time. And then before that spin out, crew chief Billy Scott had said, we're losing some on the front chicane on our turn-in. So I don't know if it's a product of trying to get more after that feedback from Billy or what.
Yeah, I know, right? Nux.
Yeah, I think what,
was my Reddick
you see
pick.
all the drivers using the curbs for a reason. And it's hard to imagine if you line them up just right and you hit the curbs perfectly, that going over
don't
them
sound
is
good,
gonna
does
be
it?
faster than if you don't use them, because running over them allows you to straighten those sharp corners out a little bit, and he finally gets it fired up.
Can you imagine that happening in the race? I mean, this is practice, kind of no harm, no foul, other than losing a little bit of time. We're just a short.
Yeah, so I mean, what happens if that happens to one of these playoff drivers? It could be over like that, and then someone hit you. especially if you stall it out and then someone hits you. You're out there in the middle of nowhere. This is going to be an interesting race, a elimination race of the round of 12. 4 drivers are going to go home in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. But William Byron's the only one that doesn't have to worry about this race today. He is locked in. He is the points leader. He's the only one. So Dalton says, bro, why? Ernest says another Roval race is a new chaotic configuration. Bring back Road of America, please. Wade says, what's up, CeeLo? Bell's still the man. Hey, he's looking good. Christopher Bell was in the top 5. He's 9th now. Stay off the hurdles. Stay off of them. I don't have a TV, so this is all I have to hear practice and qualifying. Thanks, CeeLo. You're welcome, Steven. That's what we do. That's why we're here. What's the points look like right now? There's nothing points changing wise, but I can tell you what they look like. 1 second. We also went over that in our preview vlog, so make sure you check out that every Friday at 2 p.m. The week of the race, weekend of the race. Every Friday we bring out a paint scheme and weekend preview, race weekend preview. We get you ready for the weekend. We tell you when we're streaming. We show you the paint schemes for all the cars. We talk about points. We talk about the recap from the week after. So make sure you're always checking that out, guys. It's been a great view so far. All right, so here's the points right now. William Byron is plus 74. He's locked in. Christopher Bell is plus 57. He's in second place. Kyle Larson at plus 52. Denny Hamlin plus 30. Alex Bowman plus 28. Ryan Blaney plus 25. Tyler Reddick, who just had that spin and stalled out, he's plus 14. And Chase Elliott plus 13. So if that happens to Tyler Reddick in the race, and he gets 2-3 laps down because it's a Roval and it's a road course, it's hard to get your laps back, he could be out of this thing. And there's Joey Logano under the cut line in 9th place with 13 points under the cut. And then there's Daniel Suarez. A horrible race for him last week. Kisses him down there and below the point line. He's 20 points out. And then Austin Cindric was looking pretty at the last couple laps of the Talladega race, the Yellowwood 500. He wrecks in that big 28 race, and now he's in 11th, 29 points out. That could have been Denny last week, but now Austin Cindric is in 29 points out in 11th place. And then Chase Briscoe, new daddy Chase Briscoe, he's 32 points out. So these Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe definitely need to win some stage points this week. No, do they have stage points? I can't remember. Do we have stages this week? Because it's a road course? I don't think they do that. They do stage points, but they don't do cautions, right? Or are they going to do cautions this week? I'm not too sure about that.
On that part of the track.
Anthony, you're welcome. Thanks for subscribing.
I definitely get too loose.
Bowman is 26, not 28. Bowman is 26. Did I say 28? I'm sorry, 26.
Taking away some of the chaos. He's talking about, hey, I know we have a lot to work on. Let's work on from 3 over to 5, which is the infield section, the slow part of the racetrack, mostly right-handers.
Kelly said I'd rather see it with the rock.
Now that I can go to work on. I mean, it's hard to work on all 13 corners, so let's just work on something very specific.
They do stage points. All right, so do the stage, but then they waive the caution.
All right, so 3 and 5. Here's 1. Heavy braking zone, left-hander. Check out how blind turn 2 is. Right, and now it's downhill. Steve said it's downhill, right-hander. This is 3. Says he's too loose, probably under throttle, and that makes him loose on entry as well. Can't carry speed through there, and now heavy braking, a fast right-hander. So to your point, Steve,
of course, Shane. All right, Shane will have a rough go the next round for sure.
Going downhill, some elevation changes.
Yeah, I mean, really the only left-hander to speak of is kind of turn 1 and turn 7. I mean, maybe a little bit of turn 2. 1, 2, and 7 are the big lefts.
Right-handers are important.
Yes.
I mean, it's so you really have to set your race car up for the majority of corners, and also the important corners leading to long straightaways. Look how violent it is. Watch his head just rattle around inside of the head containment system when he hits those curves.
He's doing double duty next week too at Vegas.
Race control added some time back on the clock due to that red flag for Tyler
Briscoe
Reddick
is racing this weekend.
Position-wise, it's looking better for Denny Hamlin, but is that representative of how things are going to be in time for qualifying as he rides up and over that double strip of blue turtles. So that's the Hamlin story. Here's Chase Elliott.
This is who I have circled. I think top to bottom.
Those are all.
When I look at multiple laps, he made about a 6 or 7 lap run to start practice. I thought the 9 had the most pace of anyone in this group consistently. You know, there's cars that have run faster laps, but I really like what the 9 looks like. Let's ride on board and see how much work it is to run these laps.
Steve, your point, right? How much effort, how hard are you pushing? Are you abusing the race car?
Only one downshift there. Tells me that maybe he stayed in second gear. Let's see, this is third, fourth, fifth, that's high.
People watching is down, CeeLo, probably because so many in the south are without pyro. I don't think so. It's practice. It'll pop up again. We good. I ain't worried about it.
Slow apron, oval 3 and 4 ahead.
I mean, last week we had
Information about a car on the apron slow. You're gonna
so
see
many
it right
people.
here,
It's
left
okay.
side.
I'm cool. It's practice still. And it's a road course. Not a lot of people like road courses either.
What amazes me, Diff, is we'll go to the go-kart track, and when we'll go race, forget shifting. We're just regular go-kart. I feel like I am fighting a swarm of bees in there. And then you watch Chase and AJ and the guys that just are so good at this style of racing.
And it's so smooth and controlled.
So in control.
Calm, yeah. Speaking of AJ, here he is. P3 on the speed chart at the moment, 2.5 minutes left. Is he happier with his car? Have they made any progress or advancements leading into qualifying?
I think that is 7th lap on these tires. I think it's very competitive. He said he wasn't happy with his car, but he's right there. Big left front lockup. Wow. Now that was really interesting to me because a driver like AJ is much experience.
14-12 Bama. Wow, that's crazy.
He did not have the trust to lift off the brake a little bit.
Doug says he only watches road courses. There you go.
That lockup stopped.
Yeah, he'll give up here.
Oh, this is just practice, though.
We'll
We'll be all right during the race. We'll be good. This isn't a, I mean, it is slow sometimes on practice and qualifying.
That's about a 3-second. That's about a 3-second lockup there as we get down to the final 90 seconds of practice here. Austin Dillon heads the speed chart, then Logano, Armendinger. Carson Hocevar has had a very productive start to the weekend. The rookie is in the top 5 again.
And Logano made a Q run at the end of this session to post that second fastest.
Big workload from Christopher Bell and Bubba Wallace as Blaney now jumps up. Everybody's starting to put in some Q runs to get ready for qualifying to get a prioritized grid spot for tomorrow's Bank of America Roval 400. Give yourself the best shot. Getting out and having a positive opening stage and setting up your race in positive style.
Steve, as a crew chief, did you care about making a qualifying run here, or was that just a driver thing?
I think this is purely a driver thing. I think from a crew chief standpoint, we do this week in and week out. We kind of have some questions on adjustments and air pressure. But for me, I think it's more the driver to try to understand at what marks you think you need to lift.
Road, you got to turn left and right and brake. What's not to like, Rod says. I just never been a road course fan. I never have. I'm all about some
going to look like for him.
190 mile an hour.
Just ahead. The other playoff drivers, Reddick in 8th, Elliott in 7th, Logano on screen in 3rd, 2nd is Blaney. Clock almost at 0 after a session that was punctuated with 1 red flag due to a spin, a half spin by Tyler Reddick, and he couldn't get his car.
Let's go. What's up, Jared?
Should
have won that game the other night.
And that's a good chunk of time. I'm sure everybody would
Everyone
like
that hates road courses except the ones from down under.
Is set to go into qualifying. We've still got another 20 minutes of Group B practice coming up.
And Chastain in 9th.
Again, it is the final race in the round.
Look at Austin
12.
Dillon.
And these 3 tracks have offered a pretty interesting experience. That's for sure.
Should be interesting here. The last race of the round of 12. If it was up to CeeLo, they'd race at Talladega 36 times a year. And Daytona. Just Talladega, Daytona. Talladega, Daytona. Talladega, Daytona. Just do that. And then I'd throw in Atlanta in there too. I like Atlanta. And then, of course, Nashville, so I can get to go to a race, you know. Daytona, Talladega, Nashville. I'd throw Bristol there too, because that's close for me also. Daytona, Talladega, Nashville, Bristol. Daytona, Talladega, Nashville, Bristol. That's what they need to do. I like to see road, you know, and I've done polls on our channel before. Do you like road courses? And a lot of people said they do. So I would like to see road courses gone. Bronny says, and by down under, I mean the folks that live in the land down under. I understand you. I saw the highlights. Stamkos look good. Yeah. So hopefully the Preds will do well. But thanks so much for hanging out. We'll be doing some Nashville Predator stuff later in the year. In the winter time, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hit the like for us, hit the subscribe. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. We'll be bringing you live racing for the rest of the season, all the way through. We hope to see you here for the rest of the year. So, but we're bringing you the rest of the races here in October, and then November. We only got 2 races in November. Now, the last race of the year is going to be a little tricky because I'm on a cruise, but I'm going to try to do it this time. I'm not going to not do it. We're on a C day. It's the last race of the year. If Denny Hamlin's in the Final 4, I'm doing it. I don't care. But we will have all the rest of the races. The last race of the season is going to be a close one. We're going to be on another cruise. So we'll see how that goes. They should have kept both Richmond races. I think so too. I liked Richmond as well. I like to see the 3 and first. Yeah, look, Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Logano, Allmendinger. Allmendinger's been in the top speed for the last 2 Group A. So he's showing his speed. Cole Trickle says, we'll go drive Le Mans. I think some of you guys that don't love road courses will like that track because there's a couple 200-mile-an-hour straights there, and it's 8.5 miles around. Oh, my gosh. 211 likes. Thank you, guys. Let's see if we get to 300 likes before the stream is over. We're in Group B now. Group B practice. I'm talking about practice. So if you're wondering why we haven't done qualifying yet, it's because they've given Group A and Group B 2 40-minute sessions split up in 20-minute spots. So 20 minutes for Group A, Group B 20 minutes. Group A, 20 minutes. Group B now in our final here. Group B, 20 minutes. And then we'll get qualifying on. And then NASCAR Xfinity Series will start at 2:30 Central on our channel, and we'll have that pin message for you in a little bit. You'll also be redirected.
Full 400. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, 2 playoff drivers in the top 3. Then AJ Allmendinger, defending race winner, rookie Carson Hocevar with a solid day so far.
Hocevar!
Yeah, Carson has impressed. Every time we look up, he's in the top 5.
Lawson.
See what Group B does here. Seems like the track just continues to get faster and faster.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to all.
Jeff starts just a little dirty and slippery, and as the rubber goes down, I think they get a little more confidence.
Yeah, I agree. I think just laying this rubber down into the racetrack. And this new section, 6, 7. Certainly.
Darlington got to be in there with Daytona talent. Yeah, Darlington too. Yeah, I like Darlington. I want to go to Darlington.
Big
locked up in about a missed corner.
So, Jeff, what's your take on what you've seen so far? Because there was so much made about coming into the Roval weekend about these changes and it's going to cause chaos and whatever. I mean, I know that we're just in practice and Xfinity's already qualified. We're about to go into qualifying here after this 20-minute block. But what do you make of what you've seen of the cars on this adjusted track?
Well, look, when they're out there by themselves or running single file, I don't think the track was going to have much impact at all. The key is, what is it going to be like when the race starts? And I do think some opportunity has been
drop Vegas. I don't get to see NASCAR live.
And head to turn 7.
Okay. Add Vegas in there for C. Brown.
So
put Vegas in there.
Xfinity race later this afternoon. See how those guys.
Are you going next week, C. Brown? You going to all three or both races next
when we were heading
Saturday and
off to a
Sunday?
break, at the end
Brown.
of Group A practice, look at what went down with
John says first track I ever attended was the 84 in Nashville. Walter won and fought in the end.
Slowed down and come to pit road
Awesome,
off the
C.
bank,
Brown.
and
You'll have to
just
check in from the
looks like he
stands
locked up
for
the
us.
left front tire, unable
Be
to
our
turn down.
track
Good
reporter.
time to figure it out.
Yeah, then he just sat there. He
Which is
stopped
weird.
on the track and waited for practice to end, and then backed up the racetrack and went down pit road. As long as nobody.
Is anybody going in Group B? Is there anybody on the track?
I'm not sure I would have trusted all my colleagues to not make another lap.
Going through the last minute explanation details as we climb on board the 24 of William Byron. Let's go for another fun ride.
Will it be? We see those 24s. Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? That'd be another reason why a lot of people are watching, because Bathurst is on as well.
2511.
Is Bathurst Day kind of like the Daytona 500? Right, it's way out there.
Yeah, the high scoring is not working.
And that's interesting right there. So Brandon Lyons, the spotter for William Byron, called a 25:11. And if you're wearing William Byron, you think, oh my gosh, how are we that slow? And then Rudy Fugel says, no, 23:90. And then the spotter said, okay, my scoring is not working.
Get to watch this race first, though. Awesome.
Well, miscommunication.
Don't make me nervous like that.
If that's
DW,
25:11,
baby.
that's gonna
Boogity,
work on
boogity,
this
boogity.
thing.
Okay, Bathurst is the big one.
23:92. So the exact same lap time back to back.
Teammates Kyle Larson went to second fastest.
Australia's
right there
Indy
on the
500.
exact
Okay,
same
thank
speed
you.
Last lap, a 93.
600 miles.
Let's
Gotcha.
look at the Lenovo Chevrolet.
So it's like the
for
Coke
Richard Childress
600.
Racing and Kyle Busch.
Down under style.
Not only Kyle Busch third fastest in this group, but teammate Austin Dillon first fastest in Group 1.
Yeah, that was my driver, John. DW.
More and further.
And then I went
proof
Sterling
that
Marlin,
the
and then I've been a Denny Family
post-Olympic
fan since
period of
then.
The NASCAR Cup Series schedule, that both the 3 and the 8 have been on an upward trend.
What's up, like and dislike? Good to see you.
They wish they could have started
Devin
the
says,
year
come
the way
on.
they've run the last
17.
because this car has been in position to win multiple times.
So Willie
Kyle
B,
sits third at the moment. Early on, there's
Lawson,
still 14, almost 15
Kyle
minutes
Busch,
left into the slight lock
Cindric,
up there
Suarez.
as he's coming into that turn, that what will be a real hot spot tomorrow and this afternoon in the Xfinity
Yeah, I was a
Series
Sterling
race.
Marlin fan
Turn 7
after
hairpin,
DW
coming
retired.
Back up onto the big track. Let's continue this topic of conversation that is Kyle
It is
Busch
cool.
with Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, and often when we come to road courses, we always talk about the threshold of too much information versus not enough. And Kyle apparently not getting enough information before they went green on this final Group B session. He said, I want lap times. I also want to know after each lap.
You were
was
Richard
that
Petty
better
to
or
Kenny
worse?
Schrader to
Where
Denny.
can I pick
There you
up
go.
speed? So Kyle's looking for more information on how he can attack the racetrack better as he tries to make the car better in an effort to continue that win streak that is now looking at 20 consecutive years of wins if he gets it before the end of the season.
A couple of cars ahead of where Kyle Busch is Chase Briscoe, and it's not getting any better. Briscoe is languishing down in 7th.
All right. Yeah, Briscoe got a long way to go here this weekend, but last week I was talking about Denny going to be the new Mark Martin and never won a championship, and then someone piped in, Mark Martin should have won the championship. His car was legal, and I forgot about that. So I went back and looked at that, and I was like, what are you talking about? So what happens is after the race is over, the next day, that Monday, while I work, I watch my race because I like to see if I missed anything in the chat. If I want to hear how it sounds. How's the audio sound compared to the MRN, or is it compared to the TV, the audio from the USA broadcast? How's the cam audio over me talking? Like, what can I do differently every week to make sure it brings perfect? Because that's the OCD that I am. If I'm going to do this, guys, I'm going to do it 200% for y'all. I'm not going to just, half whatever. So, and I was watching the chat and someone said, Mark Martin should have won the championship. His car was legal. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So I Googled it and I read where he got disqualified. He was docked 55 points, right? They took 55 points from Mark Martin and he lost about that much to Dale Earnhardt in the championship. Or Mark Martin's only time that he could have won the championship and he lost. So, I didn't know. I forgot all about that. So that's the little stuff that I miss. So if I miss you guys chats all the time, I'm sorry. And keep on saying it. If I miss you and you say it again, and if a mod answers you, at least a mod will answer you. But when we have, I mean, this ain't bad right here, but when we have like 3,000, 4,000, y'all see the chat. It moves quick. And even if we put it on a delay, sometimes I miss your guys where I'm looking down or I'm messing with this computer over here. I'll miss your chats, and I do apologize about that. But sometimes it's unavoidable. But best driver to never win a championship, Kelly says. Yeah. So Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. fan. Awesome, James. Good to see you. But yeah, so Mark Martin lost by 55. I think it was like 25 points or something like that. But they said that, yeah, he would have won the championship that year over Dale Earnhardt without that supposedly illegal part or car or whatever it was. So, all right, back to the audio, guys.
Practice for the second group here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's Roval weekend, and we're going to show you a few replays. Some things that transpired.
Slap Shoes did a good documentary on Mark Martin and brought that up, that he was docked those points.
Yeah, entering turn 6, just got the right front.
You're welcome, Mark.
Up.
Lawson. Go Lawson.
First one we've seen do that, Steve.
Earlier than
was
expected.
It intake spacer, John says?
14,
okay.
All the way down into turn 7.
See, that's how I know we have some old OG NASCAR fans in here. When you guys can tell me exactly what happened to them.
McDowell, road course winner.
You can exactly tell what happened. Look at Michael McDowell. He's going through he totally missed it.
Good practice. Served his penalty.
Did you ever do that? So you just know how it felt? Did you do it just in case it happened in the race?
There's great opportunities to find out where your car has maximum braking, where you can just push the limit. Watkins Glen, for example, down the back straightaway, you can
same old heads.
Just push the limit there. If it doesn't work, you have a runoff.
So I know I got a bunch of good company here that loves NASCAR, because you guys can remember stuff from back in the day.
Kind of a weekend is it going to be for Kyle Larson? He's a road course winner. He's won here on the Roval. What can he do? Can he solidify his position? Just further solidify his position.
Byron Larson, Busch, Cedric Soares, top 5
after
from
this
Group
weekend.
B.
You wonder if there's still some emotion left over. I know it was at the Oval, but remember, this was the site of the double that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? He chose to stay at the Indy 500 and run with the weather delays. Didn't get to Charlotte in time.
If the spacer would have been welded together, he would have been legal, Darwin says.
Tyler Reddick won it. You can look back to this race, back on the Oval, and say, Kyle should have at least scored some points as a driver, and that would have been enough. So you just wonder if kind of being at the same facility, if he wants to just remind everybody that it's okay. I'm doing the double again next year.
But the footnote to that is, if there is anything in question, he's coming here.
Yeah, right now, this run's really impressive. And the lap before last was faster than everybody. This one is right on top of teammate William Byron.
They got 8 more minutes left in this practice, and then qualifying will start.
He's not quite as good this practice as he was the first practice. Daniel Suarez, though, he's only about a
2004 should have been Dale Jr.'s championship. He didn't get a fine at Talladega for saying stuff.
Brad Keselowski, he's sitting there running right on top, if not quicker than William Byron and Larson.
Martin lost the championship to
Good
Dale
run
Sr.
right here for
3
Brad.
times, I think,
Good
at
run
least
from
twice.
Kaz Grahler as well. Yes, he was right behind Brad on the speed chart.
Lap in the field with, I remember that.
Brad's really struggled.
Ricky says he's
on
been
road
going to
courses.
races since 1972, the age of
But
8.
this year has been better. The pace has been better. He's had more pace. Had
Keep
more
hitting that
speed.
subscribe, y'all. If you love NASCAR talk, this is the best
Part of that
chat
thriller,
in
an
NASCAR
absolute
right here on
thriller last
YouTube.
weekend in
Subscribe to the channel,
Talladega,
y'all.
0.006 of a second. The victory by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Here's Shane Van Gisbergen as he comes back out.
We're trying to get
He's
to
11th at the
300
moment,
likes.
But he'll be getting ready just to utilize Steve this last 7.5 minutes to get ready for quali. Let's have a listen to some recent radio.
I'm still struggling in the same areas. Just corner exit. Don't get the weight transferred to the back.
We'll have to think about that one overnight here.
Yep. Yeah, like everything's good. Braking, entry, middle, really good. Like
That's SVG.
Out of 1 through 2 is the worst.
Look of a qualifying run
Yes.
to me. Like he was warming his tires up. He's getting a high entrance right here to come into the line. He's going to cross the line here.
I think you're right, Steve. He really rolled around the racetrack pretty slowly.
David says there was some what I call sketchy that favored the 3.
Yep.
Just saying.
As we talk about Alex
Nah,
Bowman,
they
sounds
wouldn't
like
do that.
Alex having radio issues, cannot hear his team, so he will come down pit road and they'll try and fix that radio issue.
Oh, that's frustrating.
So Bowman with a radio issue.
You know, those are certain parts of the, you know, the car you just expect to work. You don't want to lose practice time because of a radio system.
Denny would have won by now if not Jimmy Johnson.
Only 6.5 minutes left. Practice time has evaporated pretty quickly, and this is not what the 48 needed right at the end. About to dive into qualifying.
This, I do believe it's a qualifying run. Looking at how much the 13 is driven off the front bumper of the 8, Jeff. Like you mentioned it, very patient, getting up to speed, trying to save his tires. Here he is through turn 7, getting powered down. Really just
SVG 4 laps, 23rd fastest. Like I said, that 13 car, it's the
Pole sitter in
team.
Xfinity. We'll see if he has the same sort of speed in the Cup. Wouldn't shock me.
We'll know shortly as to the speed of the WeatherTech Chevy. Pretty cool to have WeatherTech part of the NASCAR Cup Series competition. The naming rights partner of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, which is another NASCAR-owned property, but really cool to see.
Ernie Irvin in the
McNeil
28.
family
I'm wearing that
behind the
28
WeatherTech
hat right
brand
now.
getting
Nice,
involved
man.
in Cup
You're
competition,
all
and
welcome
as
in.
predicted, SVG to the top, and that is a pretty handy margin over the leader of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, William
SVG
Byron.
must have heard me.
Car may not have been to exactly Shane's liking, but it's quick.
Oh, SVG. Living in my head. Living in CeeLo's chat. He must have the chat on. Oh, lordy, lordy. Making me look foolish. SVG said, what did you say, CeeLo? What did you say? Oh, hold my beer, CeeLo, while I make this lap right here. That's what SVG just said. Oh, my gosh. SVG on top here. Group B fastest. At 83.242. Look at that. Crazy. 83.242. Dylan with an 83.463. John says, Dale would do anything to win. Mark would only win if he could pass you clearly. Lee says, Mark Martin finished the second 5 times in the championship. Denny Hamlin will never be as good as Mark Martin. Davey Wilkerson says, yeah, Ernie done good in that 28 car. 13 bad luck. He hasn't forgotten how to drive, Rod says. Don't count him out. Don't count him out. SVG, listen. He must have had the chat. He must have had the the stream on in his car. CeeLo, what is your opinion about the lawsuit? I agree with Denny, and you know that they're kind of making it impossible, but I think he's going to lose it considering everybody else signed that contract. So I don't think that. I think they will rule with NASCAR. NASCAR is too big. NASCAR is too big. But that's my opinion. What's up, Butterfly? Good to see you. Hit that like button. We're trying to get to 300 likes. Practice is now over, finally. It is now qualifying. Qualifying now for the NASCAR Cup Series Bank of America Roval 400. And we'll see what happens here. If I can find my practice button. All right, we're in Group A now. Group A qualifying. Yeah, those are practice times. Yes, Davey, practice times. Butterfly, it's such a long story. But basically 2311 and Front Row Motorsports are suing NASCAR for pretty much everything.
And day tomorrow, Xfinity Series Countdown Live and racing on the CW.
Mark
Tomorrow,
Martin,
Network
4-time
Television,
IROC
NBC,
champion.
2 p.m. Countdown to Green, 2:30 Eastern. The Cup Series playoffs continue with the Bank of America Roval 400. AJ Allmendinger and colleague teammate Shane Van Gisbergen just chatting about things. Two guys doing the double, the Xfinity Series and Cup double here in Charlotte, the town they both call home. And AJ just confirming.
NASCAR is just doing their thing.
And that unique language of body language.
All right, here's Austin Cindric.
Driver and crew chief, driver and engineer. Van Gisbergen sits at
Oh,
top
I forgot. We're in Group B.
Here is Austin Cindric,
Another
maybe
Group
the unluckiest
B?
guy,
Oh.
one of the most unlucky from last
What
week's
the
big
heck?
one, the biggest big one ever.
We got
At
1 minute
Talladega,
left.
28
I thought it was
cars involved, and
over.
He was at the head of the pack. Did not expect that to
Good
happen.
gosh. This is taking forever.
Really doing everything he needed to do. Looked like he was going to gain a lot of points, maybe even have a chance to win the race.
So we're still in practice.
And next thing you know, you're wrecked in one of the biggest wrecks ever. Right there, big push.
He does. I know he does.
Not from one car, but about 5 cars, and it falls all of this.
That's some tore up race cars right there.
No matter how many times you watch it, it doesn't get any better, does it? It does not get any better. However, the positive, Steve, you mentioned it on the broadcast, at least Austin and any of the cars did not see air.
Yeah,
right? Those changes they made were positive ones.
Hey, you imagine how many cars would have wrecked and flipped at the same time?
Misfortune, and we certainly haven't seen the luck from this team that we saw in the first round where they scored 2 top 10 finishes in the round of 16. But if there is a silver lining to last week and the position they're in at -29, it's that it simplifies their mindset. Austin,
I don't know if we can reach it
now
today.
they just have to think about winning the race. It simplifies
chance.
lots of things,
Keeping that
including
subscribe,
this
y'all.
for this weekend, the strategy, what they know they have to do versus being close to the cut line, trying to balance a points race versus
There you go.
going
Cole
for the
Trickle,
win.
Butterfly just explained it.
It's going to be a balance for all of these teams to figure out what the pathway is. It's such an advantage to stopping before the end of the stages, track position-wise, but you give up those points.
So there you have it. End of the second block of 40 minutes for Group B. Been a good chunk of practice here at the Roval today so far.
Like just
And
like
now we get
someone
little
did a
more
video
serious.
about that.
There'll
Yeah,
be
they
a
were just saying
brief
that.
break, and then everybody resets and gets ready to go again for qualifying. Great thing about this home race is so many of the shop-based team members can come. The families, friends, the associates that usually just watch it on our broadcast, they get to come to Charlotte Motor Speedway and see their drivers and their teams in action in person.
I'd like to do that one day. I'd like to go to Charlotte and take a tour of all like the shops and stuff. Has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever gone to Charlotte or lived in Charlotte and went and took tours of all the shops? And is it fun? Like, do you just like see like a lobby and that's it? Or do they actually take you on like a full tour of the shop where the guys work on their cars, they keep the cars? Anybody know any about that? I'd love to do that in Charlotte. SVG is re-energized since the U.S. That would be awesome. Depends on the shop, Misty says. So, like, could you go to Hendricks and Joe Gibbs and 2311 and all those and take a tour? That's what I want to know. Is it new generation what 2311 and Front Row are saying about NASCAR as being a monopoly is true, which is very illegal in this day and age. So that's basically what's happening. 2311 and Front Row Motorsports, they got a long way to go for that, but we'll see what happens. But now, finally, I can say finally, we are in qualifying. Thank goodness. Felt like forever. We are in forever. Qualifying is now on for Group A. Group A. Ciela lived in Charlotte. CMS was my hangout. Ask Me Anything Hendrick was a museum to tour. Okay. All right. Well, that'd be fun at least to see the museum. Depends on the shop, like and dislike says. So I'd like to do that maybe one day. Thank you, Army Aviation. But thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Sorry we've had a longer practice than I expected, but hey, good way. We got a lot of talk. We've talked a lot of things here during practice, and now it's time for qualifying. Group A qualifying. Yates Racing did own the 28 car. Yeah, Yates. My top 5 prediction. All right, let me see your top 5 prediction, Bronny. Let me see it. RCR Shop has a nice little museum as well. Nice, okay. Look up race shops in Mooresville. I will. Most teams do tours during the 600 weekend. Okay, good to know. Maurice says, I agree with CeeLo. 16, the 77, the 20, the 19, and the 9. There you go. Ooh. 16, 17, the 20, and the 9. So let me see your top 5. This is Group A qualifying. Let me see who your top 5. Mine's going to be, I'm going with the 16. I'm going the 20, the 45, the 9, and I'm going to go the 77. He's got the 19. That's interesting.
Through that graphic to see who is
16, the 9, the 20, the 45, and the 12. Let me see your top 5 here.
Of when we go into qualifying mode. Well, let's hear from the
I have been to the
himself.
NASCAR Hall of
SVG
Fame,
is
yes.
standing by with Kim
I have, Mark.
Yeah,
It's
Lee
fun.
Shane Van Gisbergen won the pole for the Xfinity Series. Now he's going to try and
Here's
sweep the pole this
SVG.
weekend at the Roval. But as we talk about the differences in the race
16,
cars,
9,
are you
12,
finding
20,
yourself
45.
needing to attack the track differently in the Cup car than the Xfinity car?
It took me a couple of laps to settle in, that's for sure. Around the oval, these things sit on the floor, and the rub box, they call them, like you see all the marks, and the car was going crazy.
Nice,
so
Derek.
Took me a little bit to get used to that, but yeah. Kaulig Racing guys, they give me a really good
11
weather
to
tech
3,
tomorrow.
45, 1 to the 20.
Hopefully we're good in qualifying. We did another mock run then just to feel it, and yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot, so see how we go.
How advantageous is the extra seat time pulling both races this weekend?
It is and it isn't. Like, the cars are completely different, the way they drive, the way they brake, but for sure to have a quick look at the track, and you know, you saw straight away AJ and myself were pretty quick, so yeah, it can't hurt, but the cars are very different.
All right, we'll see if SVG can get the pole on the Cup side of things too.
He did the track walk yesterday with
So the 11, the 3, the 45, the 1, and the 20 for Butterfly.
Which was interesting to observe.
John's got the 16, the 1, the 45, the 20, and the SVG.
I like the way that Shane, even as distinguished as he is.
So you're doing John's as the final
in the Southern
5.
Hemisphere and globally in sports.
We're just
car
doing
racing
Group
as well.
A. Who's
He
going
has
to move
come
on
here
to
with
Group
full
A?
Open eyes, open ears. Tell me what I need to know. Tell me how I can learn to be even better.
Well, he is the perfect example of a professional athlete. You know, we heard earlier in the radio
Gregor
coaching
says,
Kyle Larson, we need you a little bit more here, a little bit different here, a little bit more here. I think that's what it gets lost at times in this, whether it's a big league football player or NBA player. You know, even the biggest stars in the globe still have to be coached at certain times. Not because they don't have the talent, but they only know what's out the window if you're a race car driver. And I think for SVG, he's taking something from every conversation. Talking with Daniel Hemrick here, right? Hemrick has way more NASCAR starts, so SVG has the experience at the road courses. But what is Hemrick teaching him, or what's he going to say? Something he may pick up on that he goes and researches. And figures out
SVG,
how
the
he wants to
16,
attack
1,
himself.
20, 77, and the
Talking
9.
about attacking, you got to attack these chicanes.
I almost took
Have a look at the
Chastain as well,
48,
Stephen.
Jeff, of Alex Bowman. Check this out. This is on the backstretch chicane.
Yeah, look at all of this air.
Ah, the car gets up high.
Those blue turtles, they're real, and it's amazing how high up in the air your car gets, and you know, you wonder how, you see how violent that is, but what kind of damage does it do? You know, and you hit it wrong at the wrong time and bend something and end your day. Those things are aggressive.
And look,
that's what I was thinking too. Like,
be saying, well, why are they hitting
a car
them?
to get that high and
Because
then come back down, it's got to do some type of damage.
The shortest line, they're going to try and steal and chip away at as much time as they can get. What is the express run through? If you can hit it in Stevie, as you said before, in a more straight fashion, if you can hit it in an efficient way and it helps you time.
All right, here we go.
Do it, right?
Well, absolutely, and I don't believe as crew chief you can take that tool away from your driver. Right, Jeff? I mean, even if you're worried about damage, and maybe in the race, we'll get to a point in the race.
Oh, really?
Like, hey,
That's
Jeff,
cool, Cole.
2 seconds to the car in front, 1 second to the car in back, 10 laps to go on the stage. Let's just take care of our equipment, stay off the turtles. You know, I might ask to kind of buy
Top 5 advance here, 14 minutes in qualifying.
Full send.
Yeah, unless you know there's a weak link in the system.
Or if you hit something already, hey man, we gotta stay off the turtles the rest of the day.
Those flying blue turtles, they bite. It's like a snapping turtle. All right, 15 minutes each group, and then if you're in the top 5 in your respective group, we'll see you again for the top 10 showdown.
So I think the strategy is, if you're on board right here with Chase Elliott, go out, get 1 lap, come in, max time to cool in case you need to run a second time. Alternate start-finish line. So they will be starting and completing their laps in the middle of NASCAR 3 and 4. So Chase Elliott not on the clock yet, heading down the backstretch chicane. So you could almost give up the entry a little bit here, Jeff. You want to get a good run off more than anything. We actually even saw SVG run middle of this bank section and kind of come down the hill. We'll see if Chase does it.
Yeah, some of that is just getting your timing right.
Yep.
It's just, all right, green flag right now.
Keep on in that like, y'all. We're trying to get to 300 likes. 300 likes.
You can do a lap, dive to the pits if you need to. Come
We're
back
in
out.
qualifying, Group
A.
A.
Entire lap coming back around again to enter pit lane.
Yeah, this is an intense qualifying session. You know you have to get it all. If you underdrive the car, it's not going to be fast enough. If you overdrive the car, it's not going to be fast enough. You have to find the limits.
Do I have what, Brandon?
This track is just over 2.25 miles. It may not be the longest, but it gives the car and driver a thorough test.
Quick shift to 4th, back to 3rd through turn 5. That's an interesting combination of gears there, because then between 5 and 6, he stays in 3rd. Let's see what gear he goes down to here. Only to 2nd, Jeff. We had this conversation. RPM looks like you could go to 1st if you chose.
Yeah, I think in qualifying mode, you're just trying to roll as much speed
good
as
afternoon,
you can
Brandon.
to the center of the corner. You don't want to
What's up, man? Good to see you, buddy.
You're looking for a 123
I have pictures of me at 7 years old with Neil Bonnet and his blue suit. Wow, that's cool.
5th, back to 2nd for the back straight chicane. Coming to complete the lap.
Tyler Reddick so far on the pole.
Mark will be set. First car to complete a lap. Chase Elliott, time. Ooh, 23.0.
Wow,
that's a low 23. My goodness.
That's a good time. Really good time. From Chase Elliott, the 2-time Roval winner.
Chase.
Blaney, 23.3. Oh, Reddick, a new fast time. This is what's so tough about qualifying. That 22.7 is a half a second faster than anything we've seen in practice.
Good work. This is the turnaround. Maybe this is the beginning of the turnaround.
Look at Bubba Wallace.
Has been wondering,
P3.
when will it happen for Tyler Reddick? It's still early, though.
Doing
11
great,
and a half
man.
minutes to go. But that's a
great. As you're coming in, hit that
impressive
like
start.
for,
Here's
subscribe
AJ
if you're
Allmendinger.
new. Trying to get to 24,450.
Celsius Chevy for Paulig Racing. Had a debrief and a chat with his teammate Shane Van Gisbergen. The quickest from practice.
Allmendinger.
Have they made any last-minute adjustments? 4th for the Dinger.
And that's going to be uncomfortable with so many cars yet to run and other cars with the ability to go out and run faster. Again, I'm not sure if AJ is going to be able to just sit on that lap.
What's up, CeeLo? How are you doing this fine Saturday? Pretty good, Ryan. Good to see you, man.
All right, there you go. So getting the green. It looked like a very calm backstretch chicane.
It's a promising start from Logano.
Reddick's still on top here.
5 advance.
Let's go Reddick.
Reddick right now.
Bama's losing? Oh, my God.
Now let's compare him to Blaney because that's really the bogey. And that makes Logano look better, right? 10th and a half better. So he's not quite as fast as Reddick at the moment of the lap, but faster than the current 5th place driver, Blaney.
A lot of time right here to be made or lost. It's slow, so slow right there. If you don't do it just right, it kills this corner exit. Logano with a good job.
Did a really good job. Look at that time getting back 0.2 of a second to the good. The comparison to Blaney at the cut line in 5th. 9.5 minutes to go. Back straight chicane. Got to do it right. Got to do it well because this is the end of the lap. Back up onto the speedway track. Alt finish line looming. And Joey's still in the green. There it is there.
But only 5th. I thought he was going to be a little higher than that.
Comes Denny Hamlin. You know, he was back in 8th.
Reddick, Elliott,
Bell
Wallace,
was in the green,
Allmendinger,
but he gave it all
Logano.
back in turn 7. Nearly 0.2 of a second.
What's up,
in the
Susan? Good to see you.
new turn 7 hairpin.
Go Reddick, he's a goat.
In this group,
12:30 Central will be pre-race, like dislike.
For 23:11 racing. 1st and 3rd at the moment. Bubba Wallace in 3rd.
Bell with a great backstretch chicane has got it within reach. 6th.
Wow.
That was a good comeback.
Bell,
Really
6th.
good comeback.
So I think if you're Reddick, you have to feel like your session is complete. That's going to advance. I would almost have to think that Elliott and Wallace are feeling okay. Allmendinger, Logano, I think you mentally, Jeff, if I'm your crew chief right here, I'm letting you know we're definitely going to run again. That was a good lap. What do you need? Continue to ask to try to improve.
Josh Berry, the only one
There's
on
Josh
track
Berry.
in this Bed Bath & Beyond Ford for Stuart Haas Racing.
You see Allmendinger talked about whether you're going to run again or not. I think Allmendinger, Logano, to your point, Steve, they have to plan on going because Bell, Blaney, Chastain, all good road racers, all have a chance to knock you down. And also a couple drivers, you see Noah Gregson, he ran a 34. Martin Truex ran a 37. That means they did not hit their laps at all. So they have a chance to go back out and beat you.
This is what happened to the 10. Here's Noah Gregson.
Just missed it. That's a front straightaway chicane. Just simply missed it. So the lap is done.
So when you miss a turn, you have to come to a complete stop.
He went around the racetrack slowly. He did not put much heat in his
I did not watch the
tires
kickball game.
for the rest of the lap. So he can come in, get those things cooled down, and have a shot to go beat you.
Denny Hamlin back in 9th. Ryan Blaney 7th. Christopher Bell 6th. Just 2 playoff drivers in this top
5 here. Reddick, Elliott, Wallace is the surprise one here. Allmendinger, Logano.
Second off. Logano's 5th place at the moment. That time's going away. 6.5 tenths, 7 tenths.
Yeah, running a second lap. I almost wonder, Steve, this is a little bit of a track time lap.
Yeah.
Right? Just trying to get up to speed a little bit.
CeeLo knows his stuff, boys.
Good point, Jeff, too, because first time for Josh Berry on the Roval. So every lap is a bonus lap.
Hocevar would be better. Hocevar. Oregon or Ohio State? Oregon.
His run as he comes to this alt finish line.
Home field advantage. You got to go with Oregon.
Or is he going to keep running?
No, he's done. But
nervous. I think he'll be all right, Ryan.
You know, he made 2 laps. Priest made 2
Berry,
laps. Malicki made 2 laps. Hocevar made 2 laps.
Slow,
Hocevar
16.
ran
Look at all those Fords.
on his second lap.
What's up with the Fords?
Carson Hocevar is in the top 10. So, all right.
Only 2 Fords in the top 10. What's up with that?
They're talking with their respective teams and ready to go
Stayed up
again.
late for Bathurst, mate.
Is this.
Awesome, Denver.
2 playoff cars are probably going to advance. Logano currently in, could easily be knocked out. Bell, Blaney, and Hamlin not in. This first stage is short enough that
5 minutes left. Is anybody going to make a run?
You'll be able to take the green flag and run all 25 laps to the end of that stage. So qualifying inside the top 10 increases your chance of stage points dramatically. And if you're these playoff cars, it's all about points. So Chase Elliott, bravo.
It's okay. Ford will win a Bathurst
Tyler
today.
Reddick,
It'll make up for it.
But for Logano, Bell, Blaney, and Hamlin, it's kind of all right here. Can you improve your qualifying position?
Wallace for the win. See you tomorrow. You do a base? Yes, Brandon. Mets, Dodgers tomorrow night.
1:23.0. Do you stay? Do you go?
If I'm Wallace, I'm asking my driver how clean the lap was, how much room he thinks he can improve. And if, you know, Booty asks him that, and Bubba says, I messed up 3 corners, 4 corners, we actually have more pace, then I'm probably going to be on the racetrack. But if he honestly looks me in the eye and say, that was a really
Steven says he's from Oregon originally, got stuck here in Rhode Island,
I just sit
but
on pit
still in
road
Oregon.
and hope we transfer, because then we have the coolest tires
I believe
for
it
the
starts
next
at
round where
7,
maybe that
so
would make a difference.
6:45.
Well, you know Noah Gregson's going out again, that's for sure. We showed you what happened to him, where he missed the lap. So here we go. He's reset. He goes again. 4.5 minutes left on the clock.
I think it's a good chance that he's going to
and
move
that
up
Beefaroo,
off the grid. The question is how far.
one of my favorite paint schemes of the week.
Clearly, he, made a mistake early in his run. But I think too, Steve, this will tell a lot of teams how much faster you can run on your second time out. The problem is you better assume you can run faster, because you can't wait for this information. You may not get to take the green flag in time.
Right.
3:57 to go here in qualifying.
In his Beefaroo, Stuart Haas Ford is the only one to go out. And as I say that, Carson Hocevar rolls off pit road. Here they come. Ryan Blaney is exiting pit road. So it's going to be a frantic final 3.5 minutes. Austin Dillon is rolling in the 3. Things are going to get busy. Can you be in that top 5 in advance to the next round of qualifying and be in that top 10 showdown?
It's an interesting pick, Michael. George says, I just want to watch Shohei.
Beginning of the lap here for Gregson. He's on the clock. The comparison is to 5th place Joey Logano.
Pin that like, y'all. Trying to get to 300 likes. 40 to go away from that. Hit that subscribe too, guys.
Just that series, just a little bit.
Trying to sell any good sites besides eBay. I haven't heard any, Ryan.
Noah's trying to make up for a missed
Facebook
opportunity
shop
a little
as well.
earlier.
That could be
Meanwhile,
good.
those further up the ladder than he is, it's going to get pretty interesting.
Yeah, 82, 78 touching Reddick.
Bounce their way into that top 5 as playoff drivers. Here's Ryan Blaney in the discount tire Ford for Team Penske.
Everybody trying to beat that 123.215 time
This is
limit.
what makes road course qualifying so difficult.
Everybody trying to beat Logano's
just the front stretch chicane.
83.215
through the infield. 0.2 of a second down, just putting yourself further and further behind. A little bit in every corner, Jeff. I don't see a big moment or
Oregon's in the best area to sell
he's
NASCAR.
pushing it. You can
Keep
hear
on
the
hitting that
red
sub,
limiter.
keeping that like,
You
y'all.
can see he's maxed out on corner entry speed. Nothing else left to get.
There's some time to be gained for Carson Hocevar, though. He's only 0.2 of a second off. He's in 10th, and if he can be within 0.2 of a second of Logano in 5th, he's going to make up some ground. Won't make the 5, but he'll make up some ground. Time's going away. Ryan Blaney's time's going away as well. Half a second off his teammate
Minute and
Logano.
40 seconds. No one's going to touch Logano.
There's a minute and a half left on the clock.
They're trying, but they're not getting there.
Wallace, I'm not moving. I don't see
Blaney,
enough green here to
Hocevar,
scare
Dillon,
me.
Chastain are
And I
all a
think
half a
3
second
people are gonna
behind.
jump up to what we ran. I'm going to sit on my
Thank you, Ryan.
123.0.
There he is out of the car chatting. Pleased with that.
He just said, I'm just going to get out of this. How about Blaney taking the very short way around?
Denver says supercars are introducing a final playoff system. Oh, that's cool.
And
So they're
that's it
doing
for
what
the 12.
NASCAR is going
There
to
will
do.
be no top 10 appearance.
What NASCAR's
for the
doing.
reigning Cup Series champion. Here's Christopher Bell on screen.
It's on USA
20.
Network, CJ.
Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Already at a big deficit, though. It's 0.6 of a second.
That's
a little
all.
surprising
There's
to me. I
19 of
thought
them.
Bell would be
Your
closer.
daddy.
And remember, that's 0.6.
That's all the cars that's on the track.
Who is a half a second off from Reddick's first time.
Daddy.
So now if you're in this second group, you know you got to lay it down first lap.
Yeah.
There is no going and fixing a mistake.
He's in Group B. This is Group A.
is nothing even relatively close, is there, on these second runs to challenge that 5th place of Joey Logano.
Group B,
Just
Nukes.
seconds left on the clock.
He's in Group B.
That's it for Christopher Bell.
So Truex
And
did
12 seconds left.
improve. Remember, he had a bad first lap, so he did improve his run. So he moved up to 15th. He was down at about 19th, 18th.
And that's it. There's your
This is
top
not an
5.
improvement from
Unless
Denny
someone
Hamlin
squeaks in here.
on the lap that he's already got on the board. And the first group, their qualifying is complete. Flying laps still count, but nobody's in a threatening position to push Joey Logano off that top 5 spot.
Joey Logano, you know, he went and made that second
All right,
run.
there
He
you
felt
go.
like he had
Reddick,
to
Elliott,
defend his spot.
Bubba,
That is going to hurt
Dinger,
him
Logano.
in
Did
the
anybody
next
have
round where
Bubba
he's
and
trying to
Logano in
set
their
his
top
10
5?
speed. He's the only
I know a lot of
guy
people had
in the top 5
Reddick,
that made an
Chase,
extra
and
lap.
Allmendinger. But
I
did
don't know that he had a
anybody have
choice,
Bubba
right? It's
and
easy to sit here
Logano?
and say I wouldn't have run after the fact when you have all this information, but that was you just didn't know.
Truex going to make one more run here, but he's not even close. What's up, Colin?
Martin Truex Jr. finishes off his qualifying run, and after that hiccup early on with not only himself, but then there was the Noah Gragson moment as well, so they will finish down in the teens, in the mid-teens from this first group. It's Tyler Reddick with a
Darwin said he had Bubba.
Of a
Really, Kelly? You had Bubba
1:22.7
too?
to set the pace and immediately confirm his spot in the top 10 showdown.
It's a
And fellow
Nashville
playoff
Super
driver
Speedway
and
hat.
two-time winner here at the Roval, Chase Elliott. His teammate Bubba Wallace, so both 2311 cars, first and third from this first group. Really good representation there. Then AJ Allmendinger, no surprise to see the Dinger in the top 5, and Joey Logano. They make it through. We will see them again. Chase Briscoe.
Usually it's the other way around like this. Like they're like, stop talking over the broadcast. I can't hear. So there you go, guys. Your top 5. Reddick, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Allmendinger, Joey Logano will move on to the round 2 of qualifying here. Your 6 through 19 will be on the outside line, I believe, for Group A, or inside line for Group B. Yeah, your 20 just missed. The difference of, let's see, Logano was at 83.215, Christopher Bell 83.241. There's your difference in being in the top 5. Almost picked the 23, but did not, John said. But look at that. Logano's like, hey, I want to be in the next round of 8. I got to do something. He is right now outside the playoffs right now. But thank you guys for tuning in. We had an extra long practice session due to the new configuration for the Roval. So each team got 40 minutes of practice, and appreciate you guys sticking with us this long for practice. I know some of y'all just joining us for qualifying. So if you're just joining us and you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. You're in for a great time. And right after this, about 2:30 Central, we'll be going live for the Xfinity race, the drive for the Cure 250, or 250, that's right, 250 from the Charlotte Roval. We'll have in-car cameras, we'll have the aerial cam and the battle cam for you guys this afternoon. And also the CW broadcast as well. So hope everybody's doing well, and we'll go to restarts with MRN and all that stuff. Billy says, the only thing I don't like about NASCAR playoffs is I would like to see the Final Four be 3 races. Yeah, that would be interesting, Billy. Casgrella on the pole. There you go. So there is your Group B. Group B now. Qualify. SVG, Casgrella, Daniel Hemrick, Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, Todd Gillen, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Ty Gibbs, Brad Keselowski, and then your playoff drivers, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, and Willie B, who's already locked in for the race. It doesn't matter what happens to Willie B. He is in the round of 8 with locked in. So thank you guys so much for trying to get to 300 likes. We're close to that. We're 26 away from that. Keep hitting that subscribe as well. We'll be bringing you the rest of the races from here on out for the rest of the year. Practice and qualifying for Cup race every weekend as well. Next week, I have to be somewhere in the middle of the morning somewhere, so I'm going to try to get back as soon as I can. Cup practice starts at 3:30 Central for me. No matter what, I'll definitely make qualifying, but we'll see if I make practice. But and then of course we'll have the Xfinity race tomorrow night. No, Saturday night next week as well. So thank you, Brian, for subscribing. We appreciate that. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. You are gonna love our channel. So hope everybody's doing well. Happy Saturday afternoon. Hope you guys have great plans after the Xfinity race today. Hope you guys stick with us for the Xfinity race, and then. There's no baseball on tonight, so CeeLo's taking a break. He's going to sit back and watch his Vols. He's not streaming his Vols either. Just going to hang out and watch it. So, all right, here we go.
Along with fellow playoff drivers Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. But let's hear from the fast man with Kim.
Yeah, wicked fast lap for Tyler Reddick, and I mentioned that to him, and he said,
Reddick, let me see those 45s.
Did it not feel fast when you were out there?
I mean, honestly, I think it was a really good lap, but I think as a driver, you know, you're always just thinking of what else you can do. With your race car to maybe go faster, but
straight after the Xfinity race,
you know, the temps going up, the track's gonna be a little bit cleaner for Group B qualifying, so we'll just see what some of these guys over there will do. Obviously, expect a lot of speed out of 13, the 2, the 5, a lot of good cars in there, so we'll just see what happens, but we'll be ready to give it a go in round 2 qualifying in our Monster Energy Camry and hopefully have a shot at the pole again.
As you look at tomorrow, plus 14 to the elimination line, and you've got 3 straight top 10 finishes here. Is it top 10 enough, or how do you approach this race?
I mean, we'll have more answers by the end of qualifying, but certainly, you know, starting top 10 was kind of a must-have situation. That's what we needed to do. We did that.
13
in that
to
first
2,
round,
5
so,
8 to 54.
Now from here, yeah, if we can just follow it up in round 2 and get the pole, it'll give us a lot of options in the race. Give us the choices that we're seeking, you know, to be able to run the race for stage points or just go for the win. So we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely nice when you can bring speed like that when it matters. Practice was a bit of a struggle for us, to be honest. Just trying to put the best lap together, making some mistakes along the way, but got that out of the way and back to where I feel like we need to be on these road courses.
That's Tyler Reddick, and it sounds like, guys, that there's more left out on the track for him to grab in terms of pace for the next round of qualifying.
And when you heard Tyler say it be on the pole again,
all right, let me
he
see.
Was on
See,
the pole
Brown already
for
gave
the
me his
Roval
picks.
A year ago. And
SVG,
this year on the
Cindric,
road
Larson,
and street
Bush,
courses,
54. Let me see your top 5 here.
Winner,
I'm going
SVG
SVG,
winner, Jeff, every time, and also a different
Kyle
race
Busch.
winner every time. We'll see if that variability continues.
Here we go,
but
Chris
we're not
Buescher.
there yet. This is not to set the pole. This
and
is
Larson.
just to set the top 5 in Group B.
SVG,
As Tyler
Kyle
said,
Busch,
track will be a little bit
Buescher,
cleaner for them. We're in
Kyle
qualifying
Larson,
mode. We'll see how this pans out. Who
and
has the speed in Group B?
Yeah, and in Group A, you know, no playoff
Willie B.
drivers.
So the 24.
Did anything that was real harmful to what they need to have happen tomorrow.
8.
Reddick and Elliott both.
I don't have the
in
17.
a position in my eyes needing some stage points. They both qualified well so far. Logano in that same spot. So nobody really put themselves in a real bad spot. Let's see if the rest of the guys in this group can do the same.
I think the worry point
24.
in this one is the car that just went through shot. Number 14, Chase Briscoe. He was kind of languishing in the lower half of his group in both 20-minute practice sessions. There he is there, the white, blue, and red Ford Mustang just going out of shot. Just the car didn't look compliant.
2 I got.
Didn't have the speed. We'll see what happens here in qualifying.
And on the
42, the 5, the 48, the 71, the 34. Ooh, look at Denzel going McDowell.
He had really good pace in the first practice. Was maybe a 1/10 of a second off of Larson.
13, 5, 48, 17 to 14, Cameron says.
So if this guy can qualify well and have track position all day, they can make something great happen.
By the way, this Valvoline Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports.
13, 8, 48, 5 in the 17. Light SVG 14, 71, 34.
It looks awesome.
13, 8, 5, 17 in the 2. Lots of 13s here. There's another McDowell.
In Charlotte.
2 McDowells, 3 McDowells. Shane with McDowell as well. Don't forget about the 34. Pretty much stout on road courses.
Cup playoffs.
I think that almost increases his chance at victory.
And it's qualified, right? So that's what McDowell does.
Yeah, looser, you don't have to worry about the strategy for points and all this other mess.
As I said, with a horrible
you're here to have fun.
FRM do what they do. FRMs do what they do. 13, 24, 5, 34 in the 2.
Oh, Okay, let's go. Let's see what we've got. Has everybody built to speed? The line you're about to see on the track, that is the
We forgot about Bowman. Nobody put Bowman.
Start finish.
Anybody put Bowman?
And
Gregor did. Cameron did.
1:22.955.
Denzel did
So
too.
about just 0.2 off.
Anybody else?
Larson beat him by just a little bit, of 93.
Steven says, I didn't forget about the 34.
Bowman, not the lap he was looking for.
Again, Tyler Reddick's a 1:22.7, just to give you some comparison from Group A to Group B.
Well, instantly, there's 3 cars in the 122s with Cindric jumping to second.
To Steve's point, there was only 1 car in that 1:22 range.
Oh, you
in
did
Group
forget
A,
about
and
the
that was
34.
Tyler Reddick.
Okay, gotcha.
So this group a lot closer. Kyle Busch puts it in there in 4th at the moment.
Look at Rowdy. Where's my Rowdy
Keselowski
friends?
5th.
Lester.
Alex Bowman, he's in pretty good shape, but, he is not going to make the top 5 in this first round. He's going to have to run again.
Rowdy.
Try to make that happen. Todd Gilliland with a good lap.
An interesting strategy here by the 13 SVG. He did not go
McDowell.
out with everyone right away. I wonder if he didn't think he could have such a slow out lap. Right, if other people would push his pace.
This is my Rowdy friends.
If you look at the 13 right here, he is 50%
Wow,
at best.
crazy.
He's got Daniel Suarez ahead of him, but a good distance ahead, like NASCAR 1 and 2.
And Suarez should be finishing his lap, I believe, right?
And Suarez went out. He went out with everybody, went around the racetrack, and came back down pit road. I'm not sure what he was doing. So he just took the green. He went out, came down pit road, sat at the end of pit road. Not sure. Maybe he thought just roll a little bit of, not really put heat in the tire, but scuff them up just a little bit.
It's crazy.
Well, so far, it looks good. He's in the green compared to Larson.
Purple says the 99.
There as well. There's a couple in the green. No surprise to see Shane Van Gisbergen in the green. Keselowski on the cut line in that top 5. Larson, Cindric, Byron, Busch, and Keselowski.
So comparing to Keselowski, Suarez is looking to be in the green there to get into the top 5. SVG at the bottom. He's a half a second over 5th. But remember, even as impressive of a lap as he may run, it gets wiped off the board once you advance.
Yep.
So SVG only really needs to run hard enough to not have to run again, if that makes sense.
By the way, if you're just joining us and you didn't catch Group A in qualifying, there were improvements, but nobody
just like
improved
that.
enough to jump their way into the
That's
top
right.
5 on what was set from initial runs. So these first laps that were turned in Group A were the times that stuck good enough to get them through.
Where's
to
the
top
stream
10
of
showdown.
qualifying? This
Skip
is it right
that
now, Lev.
is the same here in Group B.
This is qualifying.
Is going to be so close to knocking Keselowski off.
He could
Oh,
get
here's
it. He could
SVG
it.
trying to
It's
get
coming back.
P5.
It's close, but not enough.
He lost it all in the turn 6-7 complex, the new
Oh, he's
part of the
won now.
racetrack, newly designed. That's where he lost every bit of it.
He's going to be your fast man, Steve. Shane Van Gisbergen to the line and to the top. 1:22.6, fastest time we've seen today.
It is, but very close to Reddick, only 200ths separate. So while
McDowell started his
SVG
career
once
on
again
road
proves
courses.
why he's the favorite coming into these road courses. The driver of the 45s is
All right,
not
here's
so fast,
McDowell.
only a couple hundredths faster than me.
Wow, look at the pace.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh!
Hey, Michael McDowell, he shifted down in there.
It's going to be 6th.
Just over a 10th off at the moment again. The comparison is to the 5th place Kyle Busch. He's got that time back. It's about to go green. Loses a little bit more, but we're only talking hundredths of a second.
It is funny. When you look at the numbers, you think
Oh, and green, red, green, red, green, red.
Gap. When in reality, it's such a small margin.
He is pushing this car for everything it has. Interested in different setups in these race cars. His right front tire barely touched the racetrack.
Making time in odd corners.
You did predict
Jeff,
him.
Where I think you wouldn't be able to make
Can
time.
SVG do the double? He can.
In the corners I would have
Can he?
highlighted, he's
We'll
a little
see.
bit off.
Time going away, close to 0.2 of a second off. Might be able to get some back here in the back straight chicane.
He's very good under braking.
Now he's lost some time to Rowdy.
This is too much
plus
to make up.
plus 200ths of a second ahead of behind Kyle.
And unfortunately, the second half of the lap, Jeff, went away from Michael McDowell.
Yeah, just...
Oh, he's going to give it another shot.
Not from a lack of effort, I can tell you that. He is pushing. Whoa. Using all the racetrack.
And currently at 11th, you know, even if he doesn't improve into the top 5, if he improves his time.
Looked like he was +5.
It's going to be hard to improve his time, I think, unless he feels like he just messed something up. Extra heat in the tires.
Almost to 300 likes. Keep hitting that subscribe as well, y'all.
Yeah, so this reminds me, we pointed out another car that looked this way. I just don't love the soft rear suspension approach.
It was Briscoe.
Yeah, Briscoe. Yeah, another Ford, and it's just... You mentioned the right front bouncing up. That's not because of the front suspension. That's the rear. The soft rear allows, think about it like a table. If I cut an inch off one of the legs, when I push that leg on the ground, the opposite, the diagonal corner or the diagonal leg comes off the ground.
So he made some ground up through the midfield section of the track and then has given it back.
That's what they've been saying about NASCAR, about Bowman.
And with a softer rear suspension,
Bowman's racking up the playoffs. He's got more than anyone. Points in playoffs.
You would struggle
winning those
some of these
stages.
high-speed right, left, right situations like the chicanes are.
And it could be a trade-off, right? You made rear grip become so important in the race, in the infield section, that they may just say, you know what? We know we're not going to go as fast, but in the race, we're going to be better because we're going to have more rear compliance, potentially more rear grip.
Tennessee, Ryan.
So that's it for the Loves Ford. Front Row Motorsports.
So he tried.
He gave it a good shot. Really tried hard. But 11th.
5 minutes to go here.
Is where it's going to be.
13, 5, 2, 24 in the 8.
See too many takers here in this 5.5 minutes. Maybe will Brad Keselowski go back out there and try and find another 1/10 of a second to push
he's
Kyle
in the
Busch
top
out of
five,
the top 5? Will Daniel
in Group
Suarez
A,
as a
T-Van.
playoff driver try and find another 10th and push Kyle Busch out?
I think
we'll
he
wait
is.
and
Let me
see.
go back and look. I don't remember.
Of the playoff drivers, unfortunately, Ryan Briscoe, pardon me. Chase Briscoe.
It's a past life.
Past life, former
yeah.
life, creeping back.
Yeah,
So
he's in the top
driver I really have
5.
circled is
Reddick,
Alex
Elliott,
Bowman, right? We have
Bubba,
of the
Allmendinger,
4 Hendrick
Logano.
cars, he's the only one currently not in the top 5. Elliott made it through in round 1. We have Larson and Byron here in round 2. You know, Bowman won the street course.
Yeah, he's in
he
Group
has
A.
proven his road course ability. Is there something
4 minutes
he's a
to go.
10th and a
Anybody
half
gonna
off
take?
of Busch? Is there a moment on the racetrack or something in the setup they could adjust? Maybe some air pressure. You know, what was Alex fighting, and can they adjust the race car? You know, can Blake Harris communicate with his driver and find a little bit
Thank
more
you for the
pace?
300 likes, y'all.
We're in the mode
Keep
of
hitting
setting
for
the
us.
grid for tomorrow's Bank of America Roval 400. It's going to be quite the day.
All right, so we're just waiting on some more takers. This might be it here, but if it is, SVG, Larson, Cindric, Byron, Busch will join. We'll join Reddick, Elliott, Bubba, AJ, and Logano in the next round. And while we're doing that, I will get the pit message here. Oops. Wrong one. Yeah, where's Hacklin? He was like 11th or something like that.
A year ago here at the Roval, as we remind you, while yes, it's an individual race, it's part and an all-important part of the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and that's where the points lie at the moment. William Byron is highlighted in yellow because he is locked in. He couldn't, when we were at Talladega last weekend, and he was there and he was able to miss the big
Then
one.
he was 18th.
He was locked in.
Or no.
We're going to be talking a lot about Logano, Suarez, Cindric, and Chase Briscoe.
Then he was 9th fastest.
There's been some chaos in the playoffs, but that's expected. Atlanta, unexpectedly, it was Kyle Larson that surprised us all with a big one, and Briscoe was wrong place, wrong time.
And then Watkins Glen, this was early in the race. A lot of the playoff drivers involved.
Denny Hamlin involved in that early one, involved again in a late accident, and then right here, William Byron almost over the guardrail.
Brad Keselowski in that, and then last week Talladega, 28 cars.
The key to this is who wasn't in it, right? So You know, like this was in my eyes, a major break for Denny Hamlin. Did not have track position. I don't know how he was going to get it that late in the race. Missed this wreck.
Briscoe's going to drive for it one more time.
In great shape.
2 minutes left on the clock, and we were wondering how
Mark,
many takers
good to
would
see
we
you, buddy.
have to try and get a 10th or two here or there. Well, the answer now is plenty. Cars are on track everywhere. Track very active. Here's Briscoe.
You mentioned it. His first practice. Car never looked like it was settled. It never had pace. It never looked comfortable to drive.
It looked like he was kind of driving him. Like he would turn the wheel, the back would right there, the back moves, and now you have to correct with your steering wheel. Now you're not driving the car to your next spot.
Briscoe, Haley, and Eric Jones are on the track.
So again, the times you see on your screen, although they're in red, which means they're behind, the comparative is to Kyle Busch in 5th place. So at the moment, Briscoe's 3.5 tenths off.
And now if you're a Briscoe fan, to what you were saying about McDowell, Jeff, you know, this is perhaps a conscious setup decision.
SVG's the only driver to turn a dog car to
on the
a
long
loss.
run in the race. That's why the back of the car has that compliance. The penalty, though, can be qualified.
Well, let's see what happens during the race.
In the
That's
first
interesting.
session, we're 16, 17,
55 seconds.
So just
55 seconds, Davey. Good to see you.
At all.
We can just get a little bit back here in this closing portion of the lap. As the seconds wind down, we're almost finished.
Briscoe's not going to have enough.
Going the other way. He's 6 tenths off now. 6 tenths off 5th place. And that's not going to be an improvement on what he's already got on the board, unfortunately, for his Ford Performance Racing Center, Stuart Haas Ford.
Eric
Daniel
Jones,
Suarez,
Nemechek,
2
and
tenths
Suarez
off at
left
this
on the
early
track
stage
now.
in his lap.
Humdinger of a race. I see what you did there, Davey. I wonder if SVG can take all stages and win the Xfinity. We'll see.
Hey, there's a splash of green on the screen. It's Brad
He needs
Keselowski.
everything he can get because he is 10 points below the cut line in the Xfinity race.
Brad's going to have enough speed here to move up and eliminate Busch.
It was the first question we asked. Would Keselowski go out there and try and find a little bit of time? He's found it. And Brad Keselowski pushes Kyle Busch out of the fight.
Wow.
It's been that kind of year for Kyle Busch.
Bad Brad.
Good pace, especially these last 10
Did
races
anything
or
go
so.
wrong with Rowdy?
Like that
I mean,
keep happening. But great job by Brad Keselowski. Brad's had a good day today. He's had really good pace.
Bad Brad. Let me see those
So the time
sixes.
has expired. Flying laps count.
Yeah, Bowman had a lap going down the backstretch. Something in the backstretch chicane just didn't go his way.
Yeah, that looked a bit wonky, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a big loss there.
So Bowman's going to start around the 17th spot.
Bad Brad.
There you have it.
There you have it. Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric. That's a good bounce back from last week after being taken out in the big one. William Byron, the points leader, heading
thought
into
about it,
the round
considering,
of 8, and then Brad Keselowski.
Buescher had such a good run. I thought maybe Keselowski, but I was like, nah.
Nope.
Yeah, we saw McDowell pushing really hard, trying to make something happen, and just simply did not have enough grip for that amount of pace.
So that leaves us with just the top 10 showdown, and there is Kyle
Thank
Busch.
you for grabbing Bill K. Thank you so much, guys.
When Brad Keselowski,
for 4 to go
by
to
a few hundredths of a
24,430.
was able to push the 8 out.
It's all
Top
good,
5
Brownie.
drivers from each
It's all
group,
good, buddy.
they're ready to go for the pole.
All right. So, SVG, Larson, Cindric, Byron, Keselowski move on to round 2. Is this qualifying? Yes, Kevin. This is qualifying. We're now moving into round 2. We're down to 10 drivers for the pole. So I hope you guys are doing well. We'll be bringing you live coverage of the Xfinity race coming up at 2:30 Central. We'll bring you live pre-race ceremonies for the Xfinity race, and then at 3 o'clock, the green flag will drop. We're going to be bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of that race right here on our channel. We'll have the battle cam, we'll have the aerial cam, we'll have an in-car camera. Bronny, Who is the in-car cameras today? Do you know? I'm sure it's SVG and probably, I don't know, Sam Mayer. I don't know. Who is our in-car cameras today? Do you know, Bronny? The 81 and the 16. Interesting. So Dinger and Chandler Smith will be our in-car cameras today. We'll be bringing the live coverage for you guys. The pin message link is right there, so make sure you go over there and like up the stream over there. And then also, after this race is over, this qualifying is over, you will be redirected over to the stream as well. So, pretty good, Kevin. Doing good, man. It's Saturday afternoon. So, I'm between these qualifiers. Are they changing tires? I don't think so. I don't think they're allowed. Qualifying, cutting it close to start of the Xfinity race. Yep. And it might just push back pre-race ceremonies just a little bit, but I think they'll be finished here. They'll be done by 2 o'clock. It's about 30 minutes to clear the track, and then pre-race ceremonies. The race don't start for another hour, so. But keep hitting that subscribe, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel the most. And try to get to 350 on the likes. 350 on the likes. If you haven't hit that yet, please do. 5-1 Cleveland. Oh, I figured so. Cleveland versus the Yankees. Game 1 on Tuesday, which is weird. They get that much time off. It's okay. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Is qualifying done? No, Edgar, we got the top 10 now in round 2. We're in Group A. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's Group A and B. Will they run Group A and B together for the two? Is that how they're going to do it? Or you think they'll run 5 cars and then 5 cars? So we'll see.
The bigger picture and a very more serious picture.
I got to mute that because that music that they play while they're talking about that is copyrighted. So when they've been talking about the floods and all the devastation, they play some music underneath it and it's copyrighted. So I got to mute it. Group A, then Group B, C. Brown says. Okay, so 5 cars in Group A and 5 cars in Group B. Donald says, what's up, CeeLo? Good to see you. So Group A qualifying, first 5 cars, and then gives Group B time to cool down. All right, so we're going to have 5 cars on the track and then 5 cars on the track. Hey, you're allowed to trash talk. That's our rule. You can trash talk. You just got to be nice about it. And just putting a flag, that's okay. It's not teasing, Bronny. That's trash talking. And you're allowed to do that.
Incorporated, they grouped together and have donated $2 million.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But across the board, I mean, Penske donated $1 million.
Nothing wrong with that.
11, Michael Jordan donated $1 million. Joey Logano's foundation, all up and down the grid. Everybody involved.
Has anyone done the doubles poll in Xfinity Cup? I don't think so.
The aerial coverage from our choppers, Kevin Knotts, Eric Correa, Josh Garner, Austin Franklin, enormously generous with their time and what they've done with helicopter.
There was a green dumpster that ended up on somebody's roof after Hurricane Bill. I know that was crazy too.
Human spirit and generosity, and for everything that goes on in the world.
All right, let's do it. Who's got the poll?
Differences of
opinion. Who you got for the poll? You're welcome, Baird.
At their best and trying to help one another.
Yeah, the thousands.
I'm gonna go Tyler Reddick.
That have tried to find a way to help, and
he's my race winner. I'm picking Tyler Reddick for the poll.
Money, resources.
I think he throws it down.
Great to watch.
And for those in those affected areas, we are thinking of you, and the NASCAR
AJ for the poll. Want Chase.
Enormously. And
sorry, Bronny. It's early in the morning for me. I need a coffee. Jesse says. So you apologize. We're not doing any harm, man. No one in here is trying to be hateful. So that's all that matters. You can trash talk as much as you want. SVG for Brown, the 13. C. Brown going to 13. Who you got? 9 of the 22. Rich. Sharman's going SVG as well. Let's go 16. Brackyard Bouchard for Dinger. Now there's a 13 emoji. Yep. All right. See you, Bronny. See you, buddy. Dinger with a pole. We will enjoy the race. We'll miss you, though. 9 for the pole, 99 for the win tomorrow. Suarez, ooh, look at you, purple. Let's go Chase, Larson, Byron, sorry. Chase, Larson, Brawny. I did again. Byron. Sorry about that. We miss you. We're going to miss you, Brawny. You bring great knowledge to the stream. More than you think. Run them probably. It's 13 of the 16 for Cole. CeeLo for the pole. SVG might pull out a broom this weekend. We'll see, George. Steve says, Larson, is this a cutoff race? Yes, conk. It is. This is the last race in the round of 12. They'll move to 8 drivers in the playoffs. So this is very important. Let's go. Backyard says, cool. Split them up. Davey says, 24 all day, Jessica. That paint scheme for Byron is awesome looking. It is awesome looking. If you're lagging, make sure you refresh. Sometimes YouTube makes you lag on your end. I'm good on my end. SVG, but I want Joey. 13 to 5, the 16, the 45, and the 9. Okay. 22 wrecks and starts at the back. Darwin says Guardians hit a grand slam. South Carolina still beating Bama. They missed a field goal. Shout out to Seekonk, Massachusetts Action Track. They're East Coast. Bubba is the dark horse, Kimberly says. The 9 for the pole and the win. Billy Bowles says 22 will qualify. Oh, wait a minute. Did I said Chase Elliott, right? I said that earlier in the stream. I'll stick with that. I know I changed. I said Chase Elliott for the poll earlier before the stream even started. I'm going to go Chase Elliott. I'm with you, Billy Bowles. I said that earlier. I'm going to stick with that. Ty, I said SVG and Larson. Thank you. I said SVG and Larson are racing for the win. SVG lets Larson win. I call Blaney for the win. Conk says SVG for Denver. SVG for Ronnie. George says, yeah, the 9. SVG to GOAT. King Gamer says Backyard Larson and Bell tomorrow. Deserts Fox says Backyard Bouchard says shout out to CeeLo for the bomb coverage. Thank you so much, man. T Van Dinger for the poll. What's up, Kimbro? Good to see you. Love the Seekonk track. Little Bull Ring. Your Yoda love bleeds though. I know it does. I'm a Yoda fan. Car enthusiast. But I'm going to go Chase because I said it first off, beginning to say before the stream started. Thank you, California Days, for being here, buddy.
William Byron, clearly. Chris
If MG wins Xfinity race, don't that lock him in for the Final Four? Yes.
To win, and I think one of them potentially is also
Supply Man 1240. Thanks for being here.
And good
Terry, thank you for the subscribe, Supply Man.
10, but
Terry says the 5.
Standing by with Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, Lee, that'd be Daniel Suarez. Just missed out on the second session of qualifying. What more did you need during your laps?
Suarez.
We loaded in first practice a little bit off, and then we made a great adjustment for second run in practice in the second 20 minutes, and I was pretty happy with the car. And as we all know, in qualifying, we gained a lot of speed. We gained over a second. And we made an adjustment for that, and the car had a lot of more grip, but the platform of the car, we missed it on the platform a little bit.
You're welcome,
Colin. Rear grip, but the front was not there. So we just missed it on the platform a little bit, unfortunately. But the car has good speed. I feel like we already found a track of where we need to be in the second stint of practice. So I think it's not pretty, but we can run from there.
Some significant changes to the configuration. What was your takeaway after that practice session?
I love it, honestly. Huge credit to SMI and Nascar for thinking outside the box. We've been racing in the Roval already for several years.
What did he say?
To make a little change, I think it's nice. Corner 7 is amazing. It's gonna be a great passing zone. You guys we're gonna put on a show in 7 for you guys.
Sounds like tomorrow's gonna be a good time.
That's great. That's what I was looking forward to, the first bit of feedback about what they think about the track, and to see Daniel just come storming out and saying, I love it. Really enjoyable. And he said, look, yeah, we're not in the 10,
here we go.
but we can race from where we are in 13th, which is optimistic, and that's the outlook you got to have when you're on the outside looking in the playoff picture.
No, I guess they're all going.
Is if you can take a positive approach or you can take a negative one. You can come over here and say, I don't like the Roval. I think we should be doing something different. Well, guess what? The people that do like it, they're gonna have an advantage. 100%. So no matter what the racetrack is, and this is a very difficult racetrack. And as a race car driver, That's what I want. I want it to be difficult because I think that I'm good enough to take advantage of it being difficult. And if you think otherwise, you know, you're at a disadvantage already.
All right, let's warm up. Let's build
10
up.
minutes.
Let's get ready to roll because clock's ticking.
Thank you,
The
Mark.
drivers on track will be getting some heat in those tires and brakes, like Kyle Larson in the Hendrick Cars.
Kyle Larson, thank you for that
through
subscribe,
the
Mark.
backstraight chicane and coming to begin a lap. Got to get one in the book straight away, even if you want to bite at a second one. Here we go. He's coming to that alternate start-finish. Let's do it. The 5 is on the
Roval
clock.
at night. Ooh, that would be weird.
Trying to push everything to the max, carry as much entry speed as you can, but this part of the racetrack is so important to carry good corner exit speed. Now a heavy braking zone, left-hander, left side tires get really light, easy to lock a tire up. Massive uphill run.
TV doesn't do it justice, does it?
No.
It doesn't show the gradient.
Then big downhill right here, and you're trying to turn. A lot of guys make mistakes there. Watch how much racetrack Kyle Larson uses. All the way out to the grass. And now headed into the new section. So this corner 5 was there, but 6 uphill.
Whoa!
Just hug the right side of the track. Set yourself up for 7. Back to the throttle, quick. Whoa, trying to get
Ooh, Larson got loose.
No rear grip. And that will hurt this
What's up, Ken?
long
Good to see you,
straight.
buddy.
It's been an exciting lap, but it may not be the fastest lap for Kyle Larson.
It's always difficult to tell. Right?
Oh, Ken, you're funny.
You see a car slip and slide,
I
but
kept
maybe
on.
he just
I was talking to
maximized
Bronny
it.
at the same time. What's up,
And it's going
Dallas?
to work out, even when Tyler Reddick, who
I
was
never
the
will like this
second
style
fastest
qualifying.
from
Me neither,
overall in
T-Man.
qualifying, said to Kim, I don't know, was it a quick lap? Did it feel like it? Larson sets the time to chase at a 1:23.330. Remember, there were many cars in the 1:22 range. Joey Logano already exceeds that, 1:23.1. Jumps to the top. Reddick, 1:22.7. Basically repeats what he did in the first phase of qualifying.
1:22.7.
Wallace to 4th.
Tyler Reddick trying to do what he did here a year ago, sit on the pole position. Here comes AJ Allmendinger. He's off by about 2/10. Jumps to 2nd.
Nice, Dallas.
1:23 flat for the Dinger.
Good run for AJ Allmendinger. I'm really interested to see. We have a lot of drivers in this top 10 that are not in the playoffs. AJ Allmendinger, Bubba Wallace, Keselowski, SVG, William Byron. He's already advanced. So, you know, 5 drivers that don't necessarily have to chase points. They don't necessarily have to race stages. They can just position themselves for the end of the race and trying to get the win. And that will have an impact on how the other playoff drivers, how they race this first and second stage.
Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford in the top 3. In that order, Reddick, Allmendinger, Logano. Then Larson and Wallace.
And what a great opportunity for William Byron. That's who we're riding along with. Knowing you're locked into the next round of the playoffs, you come here relaxed. This is a great opportunity to learn without the pressure.
Appreciate you being here. Let's see if we get to 400 likes.
You might not could take if you're in the
60 to
position
go
of
to
these-
400
some of
likes.
the other playoff guys.
I'll show you a replay involving Bubba Wallace earlier in his first run. Whoa!
Wow!
Wow!
They really are the flying blue turtles.
Looks
That
like the
was
General
taking
Lee
all
out
of it
there.
and then some.
I like it. I love it.
And that's why his time was not as speedy
Hitting that
as it was
subscribe as
earlier,
well, y'all.
1:23.9.
What's going on? It is qualifying,
He's
Josh.
Good 0.8 of a second off his teammate Tyler
Round
Reddick.
2,
Here's
top
William
10
Byron.
drivers. Willie B. Got 4 more minutes. Antoine says his pick is SVG.
There's green on the screen. Well, for a moment it was Chase Elliott.
SVG, not SPG.
William Byron is. 4:20 left to play on the clock.
How about Larson?
Up and over this hill.
E4 right
Heading to
now.
Turn 6.
Do blue turtles like pizza?
Look how tight that corner is.
Everything for a good second lap here. Get a good exit for a good second lap.
Everything looks good for a second lap.
So what he was saying was this lap isn't good enough
Possibility,
to lay a
Davey.
good lap time down. So even if you have to kind of throw away this part of the racetrack, set up this part so that you can come to the green, which is right here. That's the alternate start-finish line to try to maximize this second lap speed.
Carry plenty of speed in here. Now it really counts. This is the one that counts. We go from William Byron to his Hendrick Motorsport teammate Chase Elliott.
Chase.
Fifth fastest.
5 needs to run one more time. He needs the help.
Austin Cindric on a decent lap.
Back straight chicane. A little bit of bicycling there, up on 2 wheels.
I'll take the 8 or 12 on the sun to win.
And Van Gisbergen has begun his lap. Cindric to the line. And Cindric to 4th. Nice work.
He's going to
Fourth
be
place
dangerous
in that,
tomorrow.
and the line is in the turn.
This is up and over.
In
Out of
turns
turn
3 and
one, up
4.
Through turn 2, heading to 3. And remember, Tyler Reddick and Shane Van Gisbergen were the top 2 quickest.
Here's
in their respective
SVG.
groups. Van Gisbergen had the fastest overall from the first phase of qualifying. And now he's doing the chasing. It's Reddick with the time to beat. 2:20 left on the clock.
Oh, SVG's in the green.
The Kiwi is in the green, Jeff. 3.5 tenths of a second to the
Thought
go.
maybe he was getting loose there.
He's going back the other way, though. He did not have good corner.
That was a
exit
bad
speed.
turn.
Carried a lot of speed, 2 turn 7, losing it down the back.
Yep.
But this is where he's been so good, is these fast chicanes.
Going
You see
down the
he's
back
right there with
stretch.
Reddick. Good entry speed.
Back into the green again.
He's on the pole for this afternoon's Xfinity Series race. Can he do the double? He's up by 1.5 tenths. He's losing a little bit of time. It's going away from him as he comes to the line. It might be enough. Shane Van
He got
Gisbergen
it.
to the top.
Golly.
P1.
Crazy.
How about that?
Wow. All right, Reddick.
Yes,
Get
it
out there.
was. It was really close. Less than 900ths of a second between them.
82.704.
Racing.
82.796.
Further off.
Reddick's got a minute left to get out
but
there.
A good day for Brad Keselowski, nonetheless. 8th fastest.
The way
Oh,
that
really?
he
All played at
pushed
the
his
same
way
time?
into this top 10 showdown was pretty awesome.
Wow, the
But
13.
how about that? SVG Shane Van Gisbergen does the double. Xfinity Series pole. And with a minute left on the clock, it'd have to be something spectacular
Reddick?
from Kyle Larson to push him off.
Reddick's not going to try to do it?
Larson 6th fastest right here already. But like he didn't have a clean lap, though, his first run.
SVG. Well, you proved me wrong. He shut me
Bubba
up.
Wallace out on track, and so too his teammate, the 45 of Tyler Reddick. So maybe, just maybe, Tyler might have something for Shane Van Gisbergen.
Tyler Reddick, he's
in the
like,
green early in his lap, but we'll continue to track that. Wallace is close as well. For Kyle Larson on screen, it's going away from him. And the clock is at 3.
Oh, back into the red for
2,
Tyler Reddick.
1. No more time left, but the flying laps on track count.
Tyler Reddick right
Back
there
to the
with
green.
SVG. But as this lap continues, the
Come on,
tires are
45.
Going to get hotter. They already have one lap on them.
Everybody's high-fiving and shaking Shane Van Gisbergen's hand, but they've got to keep an eye on Tyler Reddick. The pole isn't his yet. Although time has got away. Now he gets a little bit back. There's nothing in this between Van Gisbergen and Reddick.
Got to make it up right here in the turn.
Top 2 qualifiers from their respective groups are fighting it out at the
Note
top
from
here.
down under.
SVG absolutely nailed this part of the racetrack. Let's see if Reddick can match it.
I don't think he's going to match it. Nope.
Van Gisbergen is going to sweep qualifying in Xfinity and Cup. Reddick is trying to go back-to-back poles at the Roval. There's only a tenth of a second in it. There's nothing now. 0.04 of a second.
Oh my gosh!
And now that's the moment where Shane Van Gisbergen knows he's got the pole.
Oh, so
for
close.
Both series today. And Kim Kuhn is standing by.
Yeah, for the second time today, Shane Van Gisbergen wins a
That is
pole
VG.
at
We
the
see those
Roval.
13.
How fun was that, though, to watch the closing laps and Tyler Reddick try and chase to your time?
Yeah, he's obviously very quick to do those extra laps and still match it. But, man, thank you to the Corlick Racing team. Last-minute deal to come and race here. So thanks to Matt and the guys for letting me run their car. And, of course, WeatherTech for coming on board, too.
I think so.
Chevy's really quick. What an amazing day. I'm lost for words.
Good car, fast car. Tomorrow, what do you have to do to start and finish in the first position?
Yeah, just make sure we race clean. You know, I have to respect, there's a lot of playoff guys around me. I have to race respectfully. But yeah, we're here to win the race. I got a teammate up there with me too. So obviously the team's done a great job. But yeah, hopefully we have a good day.
Really good work.
Wow.
Really good work from Shane Van Gisbergen.
2:30 is a pre-race conk, and 3 o'clock green
weekend,
flag.
He's used to being at the Bathurst 1000 Supercars race. Now in his change of life, is at his new home track, which is Charlotte Motor Speedway, and he sits on the pole position for tomorrow's Bank of America.
All right, so there's your top 10. SVG, Tyler Reddick, AJ Allmendinger, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, William Byron is your top 10. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations to SVG getting the pole for the Xfinity race and the Cup race. It's SVG weekend at Charlotte. Great show. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate all the love. And I'm going to turn everything off, reset everything, put the cars in, blah, 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 and get it all going. So thanks for everyone that tuned in today. Appreciate it for NASCAR Cup practice for about an hour and a half, and then qualifying. It was actually exciting there, right there at the end. Lee Diffie, even if it's in qualifying, he brings us in like he's got us glued no matter what he says. But thank you guys so much. We'll see you here in a little bit, about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little later. Don't freak out if I don't do it right at 2:30, but we'll bring you pre-race ceremonies of the Xfinity race today and flag-to-flag coverage, the pin message above, and you'll be redirected right after the stream ends. Thank you to my lovely wife, Spain, for all the lovely wife things that she does while I chill out here all the time with you guys. I want to thank my mods for moderating, and I want to thank my members for their hard-earned money, and thank you for watching. If it wasn't for you, there would be no CeeLo. Thank you so much, guys. We'll appreciate it. We'll see you in about 20 minutes or so. If not, if you don't like the Xfinity race, we'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Hop on over to the Xfinity race, and we'll see you soon. Good night, guys. Peace out. Love ya. See ya. Congratulations, SVG!